systems. He will also meet with Palestinian leaders in the West Bank. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Meanwhile, back in the U.S., inflation hits a 40-year high.
Inflation was even hotter than forecast in June, a sign you were paying a lot more for things last month. The Consumer Price Index rose 1.3% from May to June. For the year ending in June, the CPI was up 9.1%, putting inflation back at 1981% levels. Excluding food and energy, the increase was still very strong, 5.9%, though that's the only bright spot. Core inflation decreased from May.
Fox's Jenny Cosola, and this as Congressional Democrats say they've been raising big money over the past couple of months.
The main fundraising group for Congressional Democratic candidates say they've finally outraised their Republican counterparts, reporting they have more than $120 million cash on hand. The past few months, they say they've seen more donations roll in. The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee is separate from actual candidate campaign efforts. On the GOP side, the National Republican Congressional Committee reports about $101 million cash on hand.
Fox's Evan Brown. America is listening to Fox News.
Dell's Black Friday and July sale is here. Power productivity with a tech refresh, now with up to 45% off top-rated laptops like the XPS, along with our special deals on business desktops with Intel Core processors. Get big savings on the latest servers, storage, monitors, and more with free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Are you tired of being tracked online? There's a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more, all for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with the push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about plenty of sunshine on this Wednesday afternoon. No real weather complaints. Sunshine in control. Temperatures pretty close to average. 89 for the high, plus the humidity levels bearable anyway. Tonight, clear skies. 80s this evening. 69 for the low. Thursday, sunny skies. Still okay humidity levels. Nothing weird anyway. 92 more humid at 92 on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
97.1 is your place for full Decision 2022 coverage.
These are just the same milquetoast, moderate rhino politicians.
Next up, the Missouri primary on August 2nd.
And little weenie refuses to debate and refuses to show up unless he controls the environment.
Decision 2022 is sponsored by Air Comfort Service and TR Hughes Homes.
People get it, and the Democrats have nothing positive to talk about.
Right here, right now, on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, this is great. We're just moving into lunchtime here, and it's just afternoon. Doesn't a steak, a filet mignon sound great? This is Ryan Wiggins. I would love to send you to Andreas right now. They're not open for lunch. So I just kind of like teased you there a little bit. So what I'm going to do is suggest that you treat yourself tonight to an Andreas steak because you just thought, boy, that does sound good. And you can go there tonight. It's in Fairview Heights, O'Fallon, Illinois. And while you're there, you will see just how good Andreas sauce is. Now, of course, at the restaurant, they make it perfectly. I'm not saying that you're going to go home and make it perfectly, but Andreas is the great equalizer. So if you have Andreas sauce handy, you will make a better steak, a better burger, whatever that is. I was talking to Brad just the other day about using it as a binder on burgers. It really is great for that. And like I said before, if you add just that one ingredient to your protein, you're making everything better. The great equalizer, Andreas. Andreas.com is where you can get it. You can get it also at Schnucks, Dierbergs, or Straub's.
This is Mike Carter. It's ridiculous the United States had to use the military to airlift in baby formula from overseas, or that our car plants like GM and Wentzville and Toyota and Lincoln County have to slow production for microchips to come from China. I'm Mike Carter, Republican candidate for state Senate, and I'm ready to help bring manufacturing jobs home. We need to encourage critical products to be manufactured here in the United States and bring those jobs to Missouri. Bringing manufacturing back home reduces transportation costs, supply chain problems, and reduces the risk of China being able to use that dependence as a weapon. We also need to do a better job of promoting all our state has to offer. Let's help our businesses and industries to expand, make it easy for new business startups, and help our tremendous agricultural industry with better farm to market, roads, bridges, and inland port facilities. As your state senator, I'll launch a Make It in Missouri initiative because America can't continue to rely on China. Go to MikeCarter.com or MakeItInMissouri.com. Paid for by Team Mike Carter Treasurer.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Before you begin digging your next outdoor project, save time and be safe by calling 811. Mark your project area with a water-soluble white paint or white flags to let utility locators know the location. Get more tips from Mango at mosafegas.com.
When you're trying to hire, all that searching, screening, and interviewing can become its own job. You need Indeed, the end-to-end hiring solution that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
The features you always dreamed of are here. We're talking about rewinding the radio. Listen on the Odyssey app and rewind whenever you'd like. Or catch up on entire shows within 24 hours of air.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not a married sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for spending some of your time with us here on 97.1 FM Talk. We are always grateful to have you along what is likely your lunch hour. So thank you for being here. Yesterday after the show, I was driving home and I came across this Josh Hawley exchange with this. Is it a Berkeley? Is that right?
UC Berkeley.
UC Berkeley professor. And I mean, we talk sometimes these shows are really hard for me to do because I feel like when I come in here today on a Wednesday, every story that I could talk to you about is just a new page, not a new chapter. It's a new page in the same chapter of the same thing we talked about the day before and the day before and the day before. It gets mundane. Brad, you're looking at sound every day. And I mean, it'd be interesting to compare. Every day I get a show sheet and I can show you when I'm, if you're watching on the YouTube live right now, I get a clip sheet and it's broken into categories. And I like the more categories, the better. And
today feels like a light category day.
It's just the same stuff.
There is.
Abortion, how liberals debate inflation, Vice President Harris on gaffes, Biden gaffes. Lori Lightfoot. We're going to speak with Darren Bailey in about 15 minutes. First time speaking to the GOP nominated Darren Bailey to beat JB Pritzker. We're going to have that conversation at about 12:25. Super excited about that. We're going to talk about the Biden approval. And I mean, he has soaring approval with Joe Biden. There's like the total of, he's like, I pulled everybody who was in my room when I woke up this morning. It was me. I'm doing great. But press accountability, crime, gun violence, and climate change. These are tiring to me. And I assume if they're tiring to me, they're tiring to you. And I don't want to bore you or be like, happy Wednesday. Everything still sucks. Let's do that for 3 hours. But then there are certain things that take place in the daily news cycle where you have to really push yourself away from the table where you've been consuming all of this news. You get the news alerts on your phone, you get them in your email. It's very hard to avoid. As I've said a million times, you do not have to turn on any news ever to understand that the economy is in shambles right now. 9.1% inflation, up from 8.6. You feel that personally. Personally, you feel attacked because of the direction this economy is heading in. And you might be a Democrat who blames Republicans. You might be a Republican who blames Democrats. Regardless, when you go about your normal life right now, you feel like you want to blame somebody because you know that it's not going well. So we're inundated with this bad news on a regular basis. And if you're a nerd like we are here, and I'm, embrace it, folks. That's what we are. We're nerds. We're informed nerds. Everybody's a nerd about something. You're also a car nerd, Brad.
Car nerd, sports nerd,
baseball specifically nerd. Is there anything else you're a nerd about?
Video games, guns.
I would call
computers.
I would compliment you and call you a church nerd.
Oh yeah,
like you are a pastor.
Yeah,
a youth pastor. So you do know.
There's so few people I can geek out about with that stuff.
The deeper, studious levels of biblical theology and history, so on and so forth. So we're all nerds about stuff. But this is something that if you find yourself interested and yes, at times entertained by what's going on in the news cycle, I want you to push away from that nerd table for a minute. I want you to take like 10 big steps back. Did you ever play Mother May I?
I feel like I have.
Mother May I take 10 baby steps. Who has to take baby steps?
Yeah.
10 gigantic steps. It's like the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump right there. One of them knows how to play Mother May I, and one of them says, here's what we're going to do. So you move away from the table, and you got to take a look at this exchange that I'm going to play for you, which the nerds among us have already heard this, but we're going to listen to it again together. You got to look at this conversation in the context of this slice of moment in time on a timeline spectrum of common sense, not politics, not Republican and Democrat, liberal, conservative, progressive, and whatever the opposite of progressive is, not red and blue. Common sense versus the absolute necessity to turn everything that you've ever understood to be true and to rip it up to the point that is beyond identification. Why? So that they can build it back the way they want.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to all of the witnesses for being here. Before I want to visit with you, Ms. Meskey, but before I do, I just want to clear one thing up. Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing that.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning. So we can't talk about it
because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies.
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you are denying that trans people exist.
And that leads to violence. Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you, or are they also treated like this, where
No,
they're told that they're opening up people to violence?
We have a good
by
time in my class. You should join.
I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot
I
just in this
know,
exchange.
absolutely.
Extraordinary.
So, oh gosh, if you have to, let's just take a minute. You got to roll your window down, scream, get it all out right now. Just take that deep breath, because you know why you're super frustrated by that? Is because of the way she behaved. It's way more about how she behaves than it is about some of the loony stuff that she's saying. But I digress. We're going to take this in a place. I haven't heard anybody else talking about this because it's so easy. I mean, I have literal goosebumps on my arm right now because of how disrespectful she was in this exchange. And general rule of thumb, if you want to prove a point to somebody, make your point. Don't badger the witness. Don't go after and attack somebody and dismiss somebody. And I mean, her nervous laughter when she's dismissing him, a United States senator, is frustrating to me.
Well, it's also telling that she would go to that method. You know, that's usually, to me, whenever I'm debating somebody, to me, that's a sign that that person doesn't really have anything else to add to that conversation.
So listen, you heard what was just said there. That's between Josh Hawley and a UC Berkeley professor. I don't have her name, but we'll get it here in a second.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to understand about everything going forward when you hear something like this. Because listen, folks, I believe that the superpower of women is to bear children. I also believe and know women who want to have children who have not been able to have children. That does not make them less of a woman. We cannot define women based on their ability to bear children. So to anybody who would be out there and trying to use this as an opportunity to look at what Josh Hawley is saying and try to say, you know, if only women can bear children, it might be true that only women can bear children, but it's not true that to bear children is a qualification to be a woman, because that dismisses a lot of people who might hear that phrase, who I truly do have empathy or sympathy for, I should say, because it's a very difficult thing for people to go through if they have infertility issues, or maybe it's not even the woman in the relationship that has the infertility issue. So let's break all of this down in a way that you need to understand exactly what did happen here. A lot of people are hearing this debate and they're hearing once again the question, what is a woman or what isn't a woman? What you are hearing from this Berkeley professor is an attack on Josh Hawley for even questioning her line of thinking. There's no discussion here. You have a university professor, Kira Bridges, who should be in a classroom talking about whatever it is that she's supposed to be educating about and welcoming conversation, and then using her position as an educator to invoke discussion that results in people using their own minds to come to their own conclusions. But you got to put everything on the table in order to be able to effectively do that. We're supposed to go to university to learn how to think, not what to think, except for that's not true anymore. So UC Berkeley Professor Bridges comes into the United States Senate. This is in the Senate's house, which is the people's house, which means the senators are there to ask the questions and to invoke the conversations that represent people like you and me. The beginning of this exchange, and this is where I think a lot of people are missing this opportunity. The beginning of this exchange is Senator Josh Hawley asking about the capacity for pregnancy, because that's the phrase that's used to identify what you and I, maybe what I would identify as women. And the reason why he's doing this is to ask this professor how this is a women's issue. Because if it's a women's issue, then it should affect who? Women. By the end of this exchange, as soon as Josh Hawley pushes the question, when you say people who have a capacity for pregnancy, do you mean women? She gets mad and she lashes out and she acts out, because the only way for her to, in her mind, win this discussion is to attack him into keeping his mouth shut. Well, lady, you are in the United States Senate. That ain't going to happen there on either side of the aisle. I mean, if you want to double down, go ahead and do it, but you're going to get your lesson thrown right back at you on both sides of the aisle. You know, I don't see the Mazie Hironos and the Cory Bookers of the other side going, oh, I'm sorry to have offended you. I'll just keep my mouth shut right now, because that's always the goal. It's always the goal. When you listen to Josh Hawley talking here, his question is this a women's rights issue. And she can't handle it. And instead of explaining why, yes, in fact, it is a women's issue, or no, it's not a women's issue, she invokes the word transphobic. She calls Senator Hawley transphobic. She brings up the suicide rate among people who are transgender. And she says that Josh Hawley is denying that trans people exist, which is interesting because at that point, Josh Hawley had only asked her questions. She indicates that she feels attacked by Josh Hawley's questions and then uses that as attack, as license to do what? Attack. She goes into a full attack mode on Senator Josh Hawley. So it's a do as I say, not as I do. Who gets to attack here? Only one side of the aisle. This is not news to anybody. But then here at the end, you know what she says to Josh Hawley? She says, "Are you denying that men can get pregnant?" And he goes, "No, I don't think that men can get pregnant." Her point is that men can get pregnant. That is her checkmate point to Josh Hawley, is that, yes, in fact, men can get pregnant. So let's go back to the first question that Josh Hawley asked. Is it a women's rights issue? No way in hell this is a women's rights issue. This is a leftist issue. This is an issue from the far left progressives that they will win only in the event that they can successfully launch a full-on attack on anybody who chooses to challenge or disagree with the premise that they get to set, that nobody gets to come up and say, but I believe something differently. If you do disagree with the people on the left, you will be labeled transphobic. You will be associated with the suicide rate of transgender individuals in our country, and you will be told that you are denying that trans people exist. That's what you put yourself up to if you even ask a question challenging the beliefs of the far left progressives that are running this country right now. And I'm here to tell you, keep doing it. Do not back down. If they can't have a conversation about the issue, if they can't have a debate, an argument about the issue at hand, that means they can't defend it. And the only reason why they attack is because they know they can't win by defending it with factual information. Stop being quiet. Stop keeping your opinions and thoughts to yourself. Be respectful, be kind, push back on issues when people attack you. Do not let that win this argument anymore. Josh Hawley didn't. And it's about time that the rest of us follow suit. We're going to take a quick break, a super fast break right here, because very important guest, the future governor of the state of Illinois, is going to be with us. Darren Bailey. Haven't talked to him since he won, and I mean like clobbered, the Republican primary for the governor of Illinois. He is running against JB Pritzker. We're going to talk to him as soon as we get back. Join us on the YouTube live stream if you've got questions. We'll see if we can field any here in just a minute. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. The candidates are set in Illinois. Next up, the Missouri primary on August 2nd.
We know what the mission is.
97.1 is your place for full Decision 2022 coverage. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service and TR Hughes Homes.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online right now at igotfloored.com. When you visit igotfloored.com, you're going to be able to peruse all of the different inventory that they have. Gorgeous flooring, folks. If you're looking for quality that matches value in a St. Louis operated family-owned business, you got to go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. Let me talk to you about their Smart Strand Mohawk Silk Carpet, the silky softness and superior performance that you desire when you make this investment in carpeting in your home. With 3 times more individual fibers than ordinary nylon carpet, stain-resistant fibers as well. You can trust Michael's Flooring Outlet to pair you with the product that best suits your needs, your wants, your aesthetic, and they have the options there to make sure that you're going to get your product in a timely way. You can even go online to igotfloored.com right now and see products that they have in store. Also, you can see how to acquire that free estimate. Go to one of the locations in St. Louis, be it in West County, in Darden Prairie, or St. Charles County, or online right now. All of that information available for you at igotfloored.com.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
West Virginia.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Well, I can speak at least for myself. I'm not giving more attention to one than another. In fact, much of what we've done in our budget over the last 6 months for this current fiscal year is to put money into programs that serve Black and brown communities throughout Chicago, in fact, throughout the rest of the state, particularly communities where there's been a high degree of violence. And I have been to and spent time with the communities and families that have been affected by gun violence on the south side of Chicago, west side of Chicago as well. Highland Park happens to be the latest. And it's an unusual one that I think the nation is paying attention to, in part because of the weapon that was used and the number of people killed all at once by one particular shooter.
Governor JB Pritzker saying he's not paying more attention to one shooting over the other. But of course, everybody knows that Chicago, we have violence taking place in Chicago every day, every weekend. The bodies pile up. And unless it's a national story, you don't see JB Pritzker pounding the table anywhere else to try to end this violence. Well, you know who wants to be a part of the solution? Darren Bailey, who is the Republican nominee for governor in the state of Illinois. A personal congratulations from me to you, Senator Bailey. Thank you so much for the time today. I'm so glad that we're having this conversation.
Well, good afternoon, and I'm so glad we are as well. And I just thank you for doing your part in this constitutional republic, for standing up for freedom and helping to get the message of freedom out to everyone. So thank you, Annie.
Of course, you know, it's my pleasure to be able to do so, and it's something that I and so many people listening right now are passionate about. We see JB Pritzker, his name keeps popping up. It's blowing my mind. In like the New England area, I saw in Florida, he's going to go be speaking at some Democrat convention in Florida. And a lot of people are suggesting he has presidential aspirations. How in the world does somebody who has destroyed the state that he is governor of get to have presidential aspirations?
Well, Annie, we see it in our history books. And unfortunately, you know, our curriculum has changed so much that our children aren't being taught, you know, the ways of history. History repeats itself. And we've seen kings, we've seen monarchs, we've seen governments go this way before when one person becomes so blinded with power. And I can tell you that is very, very real in Illinois government and politics. Power, control, and money. It blinds. I've witnessed it. So I think that's what we've got. We've got someone who is, is only interested in himself and his own his own direction and his own achievements. And we've read about this. We've read about this before in history. As a matter of fact, 250 years ago, we shrugged this very notion off. So I believe the people of Illinois are smart. I don't believe they're going to buy into this message. And at the end of the day, I think people are going to realize exactly what this person's doing. And as he continues to destroy the state and now wants to carry his deadly agenda even further to the country.
Yeah, it absolutely needs to be stopped. But here on the home front in the state of Illinois, of course, first, we're speaking with Darren Bailey. He's a candidate for governor of Illinois representing the Republican Party. He's currently an Illinois state senator for the 55th district. And if you have questions or if you want to learn more, you can go to baileyforillinois.com. Senator Bailey, I want to know about the power of the office of the governor, because we certainly have seen what JB Pritzker has done with mandates through COVID, through a pandemic, to hold down and keep his thumb on the people of Illinois. So if you become governor, and maybe we don't have super minorities of Republican in the General Assembly, but maybe there aren't majorities that are going to just jump right on the Darren Bailey bandwagon, what can you do on day one with the powers of the office of the governor that you look to implement to make an immediate change?
Well, I want to remind everyone the power of the office of the governor is only as powerful as we, the people, allow it. And I think, an apathetic society that is so burdened by taxes and has been burdened by these shutdowns and having their families home, we probably lost a little bit of the focus that this man has went way beyond his authority and executive powers, legal powers. And I think that's one reason why we're having this conversation here in Illinois. I think the reason that I am here, Annie, and interestingly enough, you've been with me from the beginning. As I got elected, I fought this same fight, being outspent 10-1, 4 years ago, getting elected to the House. And it was the platform of communication. It was the platform of the people. It was me going to the people, letting them know there's a better way. Things don't have to be this way. The legislature needs to be convened right now. We could make immediate difference in people's lives and these tax burdens and the utility rates. We could deal with that, but that's not happening. So day one, they're going to see an immediate change because everybody has problems with the administration and the agencies of Illinois. And day one, we're going to flush that. We're going to have new people ready to go into office and into position to begin to serve the people. But like I said, just as importantly, I will be using the platform of the governor to educate, to inform, to let the people know what their true options are and what their expectations should be of their elected officials. And I believe that through the platform of communication, and that's why I'm here. And as I suggested, that's how I got elected, by just informing the people in my little area of Southeast Illinois. As I became educated of government and its failures, I just simply started sharing it, and people started responding, and they continue to respond.
You're from Southeast Illinois. As you mentioned, I've been to events in Effingham with you and many of the other legislators that have had that same sort of mentality that you have had throughout the last 4+ years. And, I think about Illinois as what most people would call a very blue state. And I'm wondering if a farmer from Southeast Illinois can get his message across to all of the people in the state of Illinois in what is traditionally a blue state. Darren Bailey, can you win?
The answer is absolutely yes. I believe we've already won. We have to go through the formalities of picking up some additional independent voters. And Annie, everywhere we go, when we have meet and greets, and yesterday as I met with many people in 3 different meetings, there's hardly ever a meeting, nor has there been for the past year, where someone or a group of people don't come forward and they tell us that they voted for Joe Biden recently, or they voted for Governor Pritzker, or they've been lifelong Democrats, and they're beginning to realize that this isn't working. So, it's time for something different here in Illinois. And the interesting thing is agriculture. Everyone has ties to agriculture and the farm, and agriculture is one of the leading economic drivers here in Illinois. It's the backbone of America, and I think that resonates with people. And then more importantly, when I get to have a face-to-face conversation with someone or a group of people, that they begin to realize, they see our passion and they see our heart, and they begin to realize that we haven't had anything like this as governor for 40, 50, 60 years. And as a matter of fact, Illinois has, went downhill for the last 40, 50, 60 years. And maybe it's time to try something different. Someone who comes from where everyone else comes from, someone who is on everyone else's level. As I farm and raise a family and I'm happily married, and we just push forward every day trying to protect the future for our children and our grandchildren. At the end of the day, That's what people want, and that is certainly not what they're getting from this trust fund billionaire tyrant governor that we have right now.
I would agree with all of that. Darren Bailey with us right now. He is a candidate for governor in the state of Illinois. BaileyforIllinois.com is the website to learn more and to support or donate to his pursuit for victory here in November. You talked about independent voters. You know, they're going to be hardcore Democrats who despise. You had the Trump endorsement in the primary. That's enough for some people to vote against you, of course. But there are a lot of people who, as I say in the show on a regular basis, you don't have to turn on the news to know that the economy is in the tank. You go to the gas station, you go to the grocery store, it affects you, and you don't need anybody to tell you what's going on in the world to know that it's not going great. Independent voters, you know, when it comes to the pro-life issues, when it comes to some, you know, more socially conservative ideals, that's not where the independent voters are usually living. It's probably more about crime and taxes in the state of Illinois and the ability to own and operate successfully a business in the state of Illinois. How do you reach those people that might be previously sitting across the aisle?
Well, every day that's happening. And that's what, you know, many times what I'm discovering out of the independent voter, they're frustrated with government. They want something different. That's why they don't show up to vote in the primary. That's what makes them independent, because they don't want to be associated with the Republican Party or the Democrat Party, because the reality is both parties have failed them. And that leadership, that's what you'll hear me talk many times. And I talk about conservative values, because the reality is if you look at the party platforms, if you look at the Republican and the Democrat Party platforms and you study them and just read the headlines of all the bullet points of what they stand for, you're going to find out really quickly that the Republican Party has the answers to our problems today. But unfortunately, many of our leaders over the past just haven't stood on those values. They've compromised for the ability to stay elected, and that's not gotten us anywhere. So even coming through Peoria yesterday, just many union members, public sector and private sector, they're tired, and, you know, they're being forced and told that, you know, in order to keep their positions, they must vote in the Democrat primary, and they're tired of it. But yet they assure me that it's going to be different at the general. So people are tired of politics as a whole. The way the game's being played with the party politics has definitely failed not only our state and our nation. And we set on the opportunity of a lifetime here in Illinois, especially, to shock the system and show them, number one, we're ready for something different, and number two, we're going to elect someone in Darren Bailey that's going to show up in day one and create that difference. And I think when people see that, the true, hope is definitely going to be, it's going to come alive again. And because they're frustrated and they're checked out, because many times our elected representatives just get sidetracked with the business of the game instead of trying to make life better for people. I agree. Darren Bailey with us right now. I want to read to you a comment from James on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. He said, Bailey needs to spend 90% of his time campaigning up north. That's where the change needs to start. Now, I hear a lot of people from Southern Illinois, where, of course, we are right now, that they have a great disgust for Chicago. And you're not going to win this race if you can't persuade. You don't have to win Cook County, but you need to do well in Cook County comparative to other elections and persuade those people. How do you take that Southeast farmer mentality into Cook County, into Chicago? Are these people listening to what you have to say right now? Can you make that impact? Absolutely. And I'm going to contend that probably the last 2 years, we've spent 80% of our time in Cook County and the surrounding counties and in Chicago. Ever since I sued JB Pritzker and won, we were invited to speak up for freedom. And that's actually what brought the notion about to run for governor, because we began to realize that the people of Chicago were waking up, and we realized that something is happening here. That's why I'm running for governor, is because of the reaction that we've had in Chicago. So yes, he's exactly right. We will spend 90+% of our time up there. And I can tell you, just last weekend when we were there, and whether we're on the south side and the west side, which make no bones about it, Governor Pritzker has left those families, those businesses, law enforcement. He has left them out completely in the cold for his entire administration. So they're tired and they're angry, and the people of downtown, business owners and the citizens, they don't feel safe. And you can go in, you can just walk through the Magnificent Mile, even the most popular area there, and walk through the businesses, and you see the impact of the failed government and the failed governor and a failed mayor and a failed state's attorney, and people are ready for something different. So he is exactly correct. We are there. That's what we're doing. That is our agenda, and the people are indeed showing up. And we had that initial visit, and then they come back with more, and they bring friends. So it's pretty amazing. And I think the voter turnout, when you look at the turnout and our reception during the primary, that was a shocker to many people. The city of Chicago and Cook County, they turned out for us in a big way. So there's a foretaste of what's coming.
I'm so excited to watch these next days, weeks unfold. And I want to give you the opportunity before we let you go. BaileyforIllinois.com obviously has all of your campaign information on there. You do need people's financial support. You do need people's time. But I want to give you the opportunity to talk about the grassroots movement that has gotten you this far, because it has been a movement of the people, not just one person, Darren Bailey. I've seen it myself. People are inspired by what you have done. And in my mind, it's a vision of you walking with everybody behind you towards the problem, as opposed to you looking at everybody saying, you come with me. They're already with you. What do they have to do between now and November to make sure that they're a part of a victory?
And I love that, and thank you. The only change that I'm going to make to your analogy is I don't want them behind me. I want them beside me. We're going to put them to work. We have work to do, and they've got to be right there alongside me. So that is correct. We have a budget prepared. It is a fraction of what we know JB Pritzker is going to throw at us, but we are very disciplined. We know exactly what we have to do, where we have to be. And we're going to enforce that. So I will tell anyone that if you want, probably right now with an inflation at 9%, if you want the best return on your money, I would humbly ask for your support, because what our campaign and what the people are going to do with us over the next 4 months, I believe are going to change history for this nation, not just for Illinois, because, and I think that people that know me will know that we're going to go to work and we're going to get things done in day one. So check into our other social media. Facebook is pretty well where the live action's at, when things are happening. And if you're interested in joining the team, please, as you suggested, go to the website, send us your information. We're adding team members literally almost hourly right now, as there's a lot of interest, and we're adding. We've got an amazing right during the primary, we had over 10,000 active volunteers across the state, making phone calls, knocking on doors, walking in parades, and just wearing our T-shirts and walking through business, and I mean, just every day the reception, the text, and the emails that I get from success stories from people that are looking for hope and showing hope. It's pretty amazing. So the grassroots movement is alive and well, and I just humbly ask everyone to join us over this next 4 months, and let's work hard. And kind of like being a farmer, I did everything possible to put that crop in the ground, and now I wait patiently. And instead of waiting on people at the farm, I'm waiting on God to provide the rain and the weather, and we wait expectantly, and we prepare for a bountiful harvest. And that's exactly what we're doing for right up until November 8th of this year.
We are looking forward to it. Darren Bailey, we will be in touch with you frequently, and we hope that you continue to have time for this show, because there are people here who are so excited to hear what you're saying and excited for the actual suggestion of hope in the state of Illinois. Darren, that's what you give us, and we're looking forward to supporting you along the way.
We will always have time for you, friends. So God bless you. Thanks for what you do. And I can't wait till I talk to you again.
Sounds great. You're welcome. Candidate for governor in the state of Illinois, Darren Bailey, current state senator for the 55th district. Folks, I'm telling you what, it's the real deal. And I've been on stage with him for years. I think 2018 was maybe the first time that I did an event with Darren Bailey and some of the state senator or state representatives that said, this is not the way Illinois has to be. We can do something different here. And they did it in the face of a lot of opposition, not from the Democrat Party, but from the Republicans in the state of Illinois. This is different. He's the real deal. I'm begging you to get behind him and to put your footwork and your dollar, if you have one to spare, to saving Illinois. He called it a return on investment. What a perfect analogy. We're going to take a quick break. Wiggins America when we come back. So you're going to want to stick around for that. Ryan will join us in studio. And in the 1 o'clock hour at 1:25, let's talk to Regan Deering. She won the Republican primary for the 13th district, 13th Congressional district, currently held by Rodney Davis, who was districted out of that. It was an open seat drawn for one of the staff members of JB Pritzker to come down to the 13th and put roots down here and, represent the people. Who she doesn't know. We're going to talk to Regan Deering, who would like to defeat that Democrat plant at 1:25. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Gather round her.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye, country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Congressman Billy Long. I'm getting ready to practice for the July Consumer Price Index coming out. I'm at a 9152, 9293, 44, you about 9495. I mean, that thing's going up so fast an auctioneer can't keep up.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
So Slim 180, my friends at Slim 180, and soon to be your friends at Slim 180, they might become your favorite people. You haven't even met them yet. Why? Because when you get to that point in your head, in your brain, where you say, you know what, I want to lose the weight. If you find somebody who's going to help you lose the weight, they become some of your favorite people. Slim 180 did that for me. They have 6 locations across the St. Louis area. I'll read them to you here. Sunset Hills, O'Fallon, St. Charles, Creve Coeur, Chesterfield, and Florissant. And you're going to be able to choose a program that's suited for you, a lifestyle change that is suited for you, where you don't have to deny yourself everything that you've ever loved, but you do get yourself on track to losing the weight that you have put off or maybe never even considered losing before. When you go to Slim 180, you're going to get counseled in a way that sets up, takes into consideration what led into you gaining the weight. Have you always been overweight and you just want to give it a shot, maybe the last ditch effort to try to get to a place where you feel healthy and you feel confident? Forget about being skinny. You want to feel good about yourself in your head, in your heart. And Slim 180 gave that to me. And I would like for you to give yourself the option for them to give it to you. Reach out to them, mention the Annie Frey Show when you do, and schedule your appointment to get on the path to weight loss, one that you will succeed at. I know you will. 35% off all programs. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you visit them online at myslim180.com.
If your home needs an upgrade, don't get frustrated, get solutions. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design to transform your space into the home of your dreams. Our custom carpentry work has been wowing homeowners for over 20 years. Whether you want a deck or porch, a gorgeous sunroom, a remodeled basement, or more, our award-winning team does it all with in-house skilled carpenters. We even stand behind our work with a lifetime workmanship warranty. Request a free consultation at 636-978-5000. You'll love your home all over again.
This is Judge Mike Carter. As the judge of Wentzville and an attorney, I've had the honor of working with Lincoln County Prosecutor Mike Wood and St. Charles Prosecutor Tim Lomar. We all share a great respect for the rule of law and keeping our families and communities safe. As your next Republican state senator, I'll oppose those who want to defund and tie the hands of our police. I'll protect our Second Amendment rights and see that strong laws are in place to dissuade those who think they can come here to break into your car or home. I'm Mike Carter, and I want to earn your vote to be your Republican state senator. This is Judge Mike Carter, Republican candidate for the new 10th District State Senate seat. I believe strongly, as I know you do, in safeguarding our personal freedoms and securing our rights as guaranteed under the Constitution. I'll put my knowledge and experience to work for you, protecting those rights, opposing tax hikes, keeping families safe by opposing those who want to defund the police, making small businesses and family farms a priority, and safeguarding our Second Amendment. I'm Mike Carter, and I hope to earn your vote to be your next Republican state senator. Go to MikeCarter.com to learn more. Paid for by me, Mike Carter.
Attention men. Lately, you've been hearing a lot about wave therapy as a new and revolutionary cure for erectile dysfunction. But did you know the St. Louis Men's Clinic has provided wave therapy since 2017? Wave therapy is a non-invasive, pain-free treatment for ED, but it's not new, nor does it cure ED. In fact, if you've had prostate cancer, wave therapy is not a solution. So before spending too much for a treatment that may not work, call the experienced and knowledgeable staff at the St. Louis Men's Clinic. Their doctors will discuss the available treatment options and develop a customized plan just for you. Get the facts on wave therapy and the treatments for erectile dysfunction. Call the St. Louis Men's Clinic today and schedule a $25 wave therapy session and private consultation. Yeah, that's $25. Call the St. Louis Men's Clinic at 314-828-2600 or visit stlmensclinic.com. Locally owned and operated and a proud partner of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
I'm Nick Schroer. The woke left is trying to destroy America by taking away our rights, defunding the police, and indoctrinating our children into socialists. This is not the America our founding fathers envisioned. I'm fighting them, and with your help, we can take America back. I backed the blue 100% and fought to give police the tools they need to keep our families safe. I helped pass the Second Amendment Preservation Act to ensure Joe Biden and his cronies can't take guns away from law-abiding citizens. And last year, I opposed raising the gas tax.
Nick Schroer sponsored Missouri's pro-life trigger law, ensuring we would be the first state in the country to ban abortions after Roe v. Wade was overturned. He sponsored the Parents' Bill of Rights, which would ban radical ideologies like critical race theory in our schools. And as our state senator, Nick Schroer will protect girls' sports from boys who want to pretend to be girls. Nick Schroer, an American First conservative, paid for by friends of Nick Schroer.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
If it's bumper to bumper or smooth sailing, Sue Thomas has you covered with dependable traffic. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
This is ANN, IE, Frey Show, The Annie Frey Show.
You've said you've proposed a 15-week ban. Will you ever pursue a full ban on abortion in Virginia?
Well, the reality is that as a pro-life governor in a state like Virginia, where I have a Senate that's controlled by Democrats and a House that's controlled by Republicans, we have to find a way to get things done. And I believe that's what we've been able to do, is get things done at a time where you have to bring people together in order to make progress. As I said, I believe life begins at conception. In Virginia, we've got to work with a Senate and a House. This is what we've been doing.
But will you ever pursue a full ban?
Well, I believe that what my job is to get something done. And I believe we can get a 15-week pain threshold bill done in Virginia for the first time. Think about it. This was a state, again, that just 18 months ago was talking about enabling abortion all the way up through and including birth. And now we're able to talk about a 15-week pain threshold bill where a baby feels pain.
Wiggins! Oh, Wiggins! So that is Governor Glenn Youngkin, Republican governor of Virginia, answering the question, will you pursue a full ban on abortion? Kind of not quite answering the question, but ultimately kind of answering the question. The reason that I wanted to bring that up, I know we're kind of short on time here, and that clip is long, but the phrase he uses there, I have never heard, maybe you have, a 15-week pain threshold bill. Have you heard somebody say that before?
Yeah.
Because I haven't.
Yeah.
And I thought that's great.
They used to have it marked at about 22 weeks, I think.
Okay.
And it's been moved up to 15. Listen, folks, just ask Dr. Ben Carson, who has done in utero surgery on babies. They cut the mother open, they remove the baby from the womb. I don't know at what weeks they did this, but they do give anesthesia to the baby. They do administer pain-killing medication to the baby so that they can operate on the baby, and then they put the baby back in the womb and it's delivered later.
Incredible. Well, I think that is a phrase that I hope we hear more of, because this debate is shifting. It's shifting to the states now. It's shifting to states like Virginia, who have divided houses of Congress. They have Democrat Senate. They have a House of Representatives that's Republican governor. There are going to have to be concessions made across the board, because when in states like that, especially kind of purplish states, the laws are unclear. A lot of them haven't had to deal with the issue, so they just haven't, and now they're having to pass laws. I thought that was a great way to start from Glenn Youngkin.
Yeah, this was my big takeaway from the repeal of Roe v. Wade, was the amount of pressure that it puts on blue states and red states at a local level, accessible, much more accessible to the people of that state. If you're in a super blue state, I don't think you get to have the incredibly pro-abortion laws in the state of Illinois in a post-Roe world, because the laws that are in place in the state of Illinois do not reflect most voters on the issue. Now, It's also very possible that in the state of Missouri, where you have a 6-week heartbeat bill, that super conservative outlook on abortion may also not reflect the views of most voters in Missouri. Those legislators are going to have to be accountable to the people to pass these laws as the Constitution intended.
Yeah. Right now we see kind of extremes in both ends. I wonder if, as we go here, there starts to be a little bit of a coalesce around that middle ground, maybe that 6 to 15 week area in most states. I guess we'll have to see.
And why it's more important now than ever for you to have your voice be heard. If you're somebody who's super pro-life like me, or maybe you're not, whatever, you better speak up on it, because your voice is going to matter more now than it ever has before.
Absolutely.
I love Glenn Youngkin. Did you hear Darren Bailey?
That was a great interview.
It
was inspiring.
Rewind to 12:25 if you didn't hear it. We'll be back in a minute. Don't go away.
This is a great time of the year to upgrade the energy efficiency in your home with my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here to tell you more about my experience with Window World. They replaced a couple of windows at my house. They were just panes of glass. We wanted to be able to get some airflow into the master bathroom. They came out, they gave us a free estimate, and then had the windows at seams installed in no time. Very professional, lifetime warranty I get, and you get an extra double strength glass on their replacement windows that's not common. So you're getting a great price, simply the best for less. They do front entry doors, rear entry doors if you're looking to replace that back door or sliding glass door in your home. They've got a great selection at Window World. They're also right now offering 18 months, same as cash financing, of course, with approved credit. The preferred window of the St. Louis Blues, 314-993-1800. windowworld.com.
I'm Mike Carter. There are a lot of politicians in Washington who will never get it about the hardworking people of Missouri, that we love our country and our flag, family, faith, and freedom are worth preserving. Those who come to our country should do so legally. Parents have a voice in their children's education. Police officers are the good guys. And we're not giving up our guns. If that offends the media, too bad. I'm Judge Mike Carter, Republican candidate for state senator in the 10th District. Go to MikeCarter.com to learn more. This is Judge Mike Carter. I'm running for Senate here in Lincoln and St. Charles County. What you may not know is I run the Cowboy Judge Show on ABC on the weekends. You can actually check out all the episodes at MikeCarter.com, and you might see Mike Wood, Lincoln County prosecutor, Tim Lomar, St. Charles County prosecutor. We actually talk a little bit about Pam Hupp and the things that they have to do on a regular basis to keep us safe in our communities in Lincoln and St. Charles County. The Cowboy Judge Show on ABC on the weekends. Go to MikeCarter.com and check it out. Paid for by me, Mike Carter.
Hi, guys. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
Presidential milestone. I'm Mary Corsetti, Fox News. President Biden visiting Israel in his first trip to the Middle East since taking office.
My mother would say, God love you, dear.
You too. You too. Absolutely. The president meeting Holocaust survivors at a wreath-laying ceremony in the Yad Vashem World Holocaust Remembrance Center in Jerusalem. At the same time, inflation rose over 9% in June compared to a year ago, hitting a new 40-year high. It's one of the big issues the president plans to discuss during his visit.
This trip is as much about inflation in the U.S. as it is about reconnecting relationships in the Middle East. Everyone is watching the meeting that's going to happen at the end of the week in Saudi Arabia. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says that energy security will be on the list of topics to talk about. And Republicans say this trip makes the president look weak. Now, from the administration perspective, this is strengthening the relationship with the Israelis and a reorientation of the relationship with the Saudis. Sullivan, though, did not say if the president will ask the Saudis to specifically pump more oil.
Fox Business Network's Edward Lawrence. Meanwhile, a new report says the current cost of living crisis isn't affecting everyone the same way.
The World Economic Forum says a cost of living crisis is expected to hit women the hardest and says a gender gap in the global labor force is getting wider. The forum says when it comes to the gender gap, the recovery that had been hoped for has not materialized as the COVID crisis has eased. The think tank is best known for hosting elites from the economic world each year in Davos, Switzerland. The report says it will now take 132 years for the world to reach gender parity and looked at 4 factors: salaries and economic opportunity, education, health, and political empowerment. A ranking of 146 countries put Iceland at the top, Germany at number 10, and the U.S. in 27th place.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. America is listening to Fox News.
Dell's Black Friday and July sale is here. Power productivity with a tech refresh, now with up to 45% off top-rated laptops like the XPS, along with our special deals on business desktops with Intel Core processors. Get big savings on the latest servers, storage, monitors, and more with free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Tired of companies like Google and Facebook watching everything you do online? There's actually a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more, all for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with a push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about plenty of sunshine on this Wednesday afternoon. No real weather complaints. Sunshine in control. Temperatures pretty close to average. 89 for the high, plus the humidity levels bearable anyway. Tonight, clear skies. 80s this evening. 69 for the low. Thursday, sunny skies. Still okay humidity levels. Nothing weird anyway. 92 more humid at 92 on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Right here, right now.
We are stronger economically than we have been in history.
Because when you have $5 a gallon gas, the media can't cover that up for Joe Biden. So this transformation of America is hurting real people.
Right here, right now.
We're demanding proof of citizenship and ID when we vote this coming election, which is August 2nd for the primary.
This is 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
If you're planning to sell your home in the St. Louis area, now may be the best time to capture the highest sale value before the market changes. Mark Cox here, and according to industry experts, the real estate market has shifted. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty agrees with that. She also has options to help every type of home seller because she understands every situation is different. If you need to sell your home fast, but you're worried about finding the next home, Gloria has the answers and the solutions. She has an instant cash offer program that gives you above market cash offers. No showings, no hassles. You pick the closing date, even up to a year, giving you the cash and the time you need to find that next home. Call Gloria today about that instant cash offer and her guarantees and her other options that'll help you sell fast for the most money. Call 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Feeling the pinch of higher prices?
Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low fixed rates.
James Hawkins here, president of Golden Oak. You can offset today's high prices by using the low interest equity in your home to pay off credit cards, make home improvements, or simply put cold hard cash back in your pocket.
Start saving money and skip 2 mortgage payments. Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Lending, short my blues.
NMLS 114937.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it.
When your kid can't find the language, find the lyrics. Start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Keeping you connected and aware. In the world, the country, and the community. And offering more ways than ever to listen conveniently. Tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk or download the Odyssey app.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for spending some time with us. It's 1:07 p.m. Anyway,
these jokes don't make any sense unless you're with us off the air.
So, what do you think the value is, Ryan? Ryan's hanging out with us a little bit early today. Glad to have him in here. We're going to speak with Regan Deering, who is the Republican candidate for the Illinois 13th Congressional District. Ryan, is that your district?
Yes.
Yes, not a confident yes.
I know it's not confident because the lines have been redrawn, and I'm not quite sure, but I think so.
Why don't you find out?
Okay.
I mean, like,
he's looked this up like 3 or 4 different times.
This is not the first time I've asked this question. You're a bossed
yes.
guy.
I know I'm not bossed.
Regan Deering is the third. That's where I am, and the redistricting kept me in that district. So I'm excited to talk to her. The Nikki Budzinski, I think, is the name of the Democrat running for the 13th. And she's like a high level staffer in the Pritzker administration.
Okay, I am the 13th.
You are.
Because I've seen enough of both of their signs to be like, yes, now I know. Yes. Yes.
You're going to go vote, and there's going to be names that you've never heard of.
Oh, shoot, I voted for the Democrat.
This is supposed to be, I think it's a D+7 district, which means that they have a +7 expectation of Democrats voting in that district, and they drew it. Go look at it. It's like a little finger that goes from the Metro East, and it snakes through all of the college towns right up to Champaign. And they did that. And then they stuck Nikki Budzinski in there and said, okay, you go win that district. So they redrew, as we all know, in Illinois, they redrew these districts so that they could pick one off. So they put Rodney Davis and Mary Miller in the same primary and made them run against each other. Mary Miller won that. Rodney Davis is out. And I am so sad about that because as somebody who's in Rodney Davis's district right now, he's my representative. He has been a fantastic representative for what is a purple district. And he has effectively led it to being red.
That's correct.
Which is, and I know people are like, oh, he's a rhino. He's not really a rhino. I don't think he's a rhino. People say on a regular basis that he voted for this select committee, this January 6th select committee. Folks, that is not true. It is not true that he voted for this select committee on the January 6th, the hearings and stuff. That was what he voted in favor of, was what Nancy Pelosi ended up shooting down. First, he voted for a bipartisan committee that didn't end up coming to fruition. And Nancy Pelosi said, no, we're going to do it this way. I will pick the Republicans. Come here, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. Blech.
Yeah, I remember that was controversial. He came on this show to talk about that because it was people were going, hey, what are you doing here? And he came on the show to say, look, this is strategic.
Yes.
This is so that we can have a say in
McCarthy
steering
is
that
the one
thing.
who put his name on that list to be a part of the committee.
That didn't happen. That's been the complaint from us the whole time.
Yes.
And anybody in America who's paying attention to it to say there is no pushback.
Yeah.
That's why they say, well, it's a Stalin-esque trial because it's all one-sided. Rodney Davis was trying to vote for a different way of it being done so that it wasn't one-sided.
Rodney Davis is also not like the most red conservative, whatever Tea Party, far right conservative that's ever run for office. He's never been that guy, but that guy was never going to win in the 13th, the old 13th. And if you look now at the new 13th, and they've tried to make it even more left leaning, can Regan Deering pull it off? I hope so. I'm going to be proud to vote for her, but we're going to talk with her in about 15 minutes or so.
She's in I would call that a donut district, right? That runs. It's that snake one that goes through the college towns, like you were saying, is the 15th or the 13th?
13th.
And then this one,
Mary Miller won the 15th.
The 15th,
which was the primary between Mary Miller and Rodney Davis.
Wraps all the way around that snake one. It's even worse than the snake one because it's all the way around.
Massive.
Yeah, and it's huge.
Impossible
it's all rural.
to travel.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no way to travel that district without traveling through another district unless
This is
you
what
drive
you get when you have a supermajority of Democrats at every level in the state of Illinois government. And guys, oh my gosh, go back and listen to the 1225 interview with Darren Bailey that I did. I have so much hope for the state of Illinois. Maybe he'll get his butt kicked. Maybe if he does, it's just another day in the state of Illinois. But I have never felt more positive and more hopeful for the future of state of Illinois than I do right now. And I'm going to hold on dearly to that.
I just can't. There are so many things that I would like to see a Republican governor do. And I don't know how much he'll be able to do if they don't have Congress too. But there are some things that he will be able to absolutely do.
Well, that's one of my questions to him was, what are the day one initiatives? And he said this on our show when he was in studio with us before the primary. He was talking about ISBE, which is the Illinois School Board of Education. Is that right? State Board of Education. Excuse me. And he was talking about how those people who are on that, they're governor appointed. You know what's going to happen on day one? Bye-bye.
Well, I'm sure there's
New
a lot
people
of those
coming
positions.
in.
Yeah.
And if you think about, all of the appointees, I mean, just look at, it's not the same, but the president gets to make so many appointments. The president gets a cabinet. The president gets to put in his people that will help lead the agenda forward. The governor in any state, and differing state to state, of course, but in any state gets to make a lot of these appointees or appointments, and it will have a massive effect. And he's ready to do it. And he understands that governor, that authority that comes with that office. And he also, as he has indicated many times on the show, understands how grossly it's been abused by JB Pritzker. I mean, think about, we're hearing people talk about new variants of COVID and how they're super, super contagious and blah, blah, blah. Scary, scary, scary. What's JB Pritzker going to do with that? Use his heavy fist to try to control the lives of Illinoisans once again. And this is the guy who is acting like he wants to run for president. I mean, he's basically running all over the blue states going, tell me I'm pretty. Because he wants to see people, he wants people to tell him, like, throw it out there, see what kind of news coverage gets poured into JB Pritzker. And then you see, I think Bill O'Reilly put out his thing. I haven't read it, but I got several people who sent it to me that said that he is like the worst governor in the country. Like laying into it. Tucker Carlson, man, if JB Pritzker picture comes up on Tucker Carlson while I'm watching, I like get up and I'm like, let's go, let's do it. Let's
stop what you're doing material right there.
And it makes me super happy because I need JB Pritzker's complete and total control of the state of Illinois beyond what he has been given in his governorship to be national news. I need that to be national news. Stop just complaining and whining about California and New York and New Jersey and Connecticut as the big blue states when you've got Illinois with the third largest city in the nation right here smack dab in flyover country and you don't pay any attention to it. These are the sneaky Democrats.
No, you're right. And it's New York and California get all the coverage for the same policies because JB Pritzker's policies are pretty much the same as the farthest left governors you could find. And yet we don't have in Illinois the same economic engines as New York and California have. We do have Chicago. That's a pretty big economic engine, but people are fleeing fast. And the numbers that are fleeing the other states, those are still more populous states. So that we just can't weather those things as well as those other states can.
So we know how things are going in the state of Illinois, and we've covered that here on the show specifically. But when you look at the federal government, you look at the Biden administration, how important, there's a gaffe a day, minimum. There's another thing that I can play that goes, now look at this, look at that. Do you think it's important to cover those things? Do you think we should be exposing the gaffes that are being made? Is that right? And is it good for the country?
I don't know. It's so abundant and so easy that I think the point of covering it would be to make everybody know, like, look, your president right now, he's about a pack shy of a carton, like we need.
I didn't know you spoke in cigarette.
I do. I was in the tank for a while. So that's the language you got to speak.
He's a couple eyes short of Scaramucci's.
What are we talking about?
Look, if you don't speak in cartons and packs, you get a shiv in the side.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to. You know this.
No, I know none of this.
Ryan, would you recognize a shiv if you saw one?
Make a shiv out of a lot of things.
Now, doggone it, you're starting to expose the fact that I'm making this up.
Can you imagine? Stop a second. Can you imagine Ryan in prison?
Prison Ryan?
He would, in 48 hours, be dead or running it. I don't know which one it would be. Running the show or just toast.
Wouldn't be dead. Absolutely running it because everybody would end up liking him because, like, this guy's good. It's how you got through high school.
What happened?
I'd be friends with
That's exactly what he would do.
The head guy.
I
wouldn't be the head guy, but I'd be buddies with the head guy. I'd be
You'd
like,
be like
hey,
the head guy's jester.
Hey,
yeah,
you know
exactly.
what you do? You know what you do really well? You make a great shiv, buddy.
Hey, I got to ask you this question. Do you really want to be like best buddies with that guy in prison?
I don't know. I think it depends on what kind of guy he is. If he's looking
there are
for a
benefits
crony,
that come along with that, but usually not for you.
No, I don't necessarily want to be friends with benefits with that guy, but I do want to be friends with that guy and take the benefits.
What you really want to be is not enemies, and even better, not known by.
Yeah. So anyway, my point is, if I ever get thrown in prison, I'm going to become a smoker. So to bring it full circle, that's kind of where I was headed with this whole thing. I can't even remember what the point was.
I was just going to say, I want somebody to map the conversation of this segment.
There's a few.
I asked Ryan
it was
to
about
stay.
Biden.
I asked Ryan to come in for one extra segment, and here we go.
Here we are.
Here we
are.
Did you hear? Did you hear what he said today?
No. What's today's?
So he's overseas, right?
He's in Saudi
I
Arabia.
will once more return to the hollow ground of Yad Vashem.
Oh gosh.
To honor 6 million Jewish lives were stolen in the genocide, and continue, which we must do every day, continue to bear witness. To keep alive the truth and honor of the Holocaust, horror of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Honor those we lost.
So he says to keep alive the honor of the Holocaust, and then he changes himself. Doesn't he say the horror?
The horror.
So he read horror as honor.
Honor.
He read it wrong.
Yep.
So this is a sentiment that can get out there on Twitter, and when you're scrolling through Twitter, you see that the president said to keep alive the honor of the Holocaust.
Yeah, that's silly.
That's not what he
said.
That's not what he said. He stumbled over words in a really incredibly unfortunate way. That the part that really gets under my skin is, that if President Trump or anybody else who's on the Republican side of the aisle stumbled over their words and said the honor of the Holocaust, you know what would be? Speaking from where they're really coming from.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's what they meant.
This is what they really meant, and that is where they're really from. And they almost they said the quiet part out loud, which is also equally ridiculous.
We have an example of that. They did that with Mary Miller.
Yes, they did, and we were there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it was pretty much the same thing. She just read the teleprompter wrong.
She said the right to life.
What?
And she said white life, which when you understand right to life and you understand how those words all look and sound, you understand that she flubbed it. She did. It's super unfortunate. I guarantee you she wishes she didn't say it, but Joe Biden wishes he didn't say that either. And Joe Biden doesn't actually believe that we should be honoring the Holocaust.
Yeah. But that stuff, it is important to know where your president's mind is at, which we don't. So
let's take a minute.
Point being,
the whole point of this conversation
probably
is
like
that we're not going
short of a carton.
Yeah. Think he'll be buddies with Hillary in prison?
I don't know. I don't know who would run that. Hillary might want to be friends with Biden. I don't know, because Biden clearly is in command of everything. He'd run a prison.
There, like I said, every day there's an opportunity to play something that he said, that he's flubbed, and what a phrase like this says to me in the body of context that we have is that he doesn't read from teleprompters very well, and he also doesn't really cognitively know what he's saying. He's just reading out loud, and that is not something that we had with Trump. Trump would speak on his own all the time, much to, I'm sure, the frustration of the people who were putting the words on the teleprompter and trying to contain and control the message. I don't know. I just feel like when inflation is at 9.1% and gas prices are soaring, except for they're down 30 cents, from the peak. If
Everybody keeps going, you got to give them credit. It's like, that's fine. We'll give them credit, I guess.
Credit
for what?
For being above $4 still.
For not being as high
as it was last month.
No credit given
higher?
from Brad.
No.
None.
Forget that
I'll
guy.
give him all the credit in the world for that. But
yesterday I put $100 in my truck. I went from a quarter of a tank to 3/4 of a tank. It'd be nice to put $100 in your truck and it go to full.
Not have to put $100.
Right.
Well, that's what I mean.
Let me fill it up.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know why people are staking their ground, are staking a claim to that ground. Like, well, you got to give them credit for
they
the
don't have
30%.
anything else.
You're right. You're right.
That's what they have. And it's very sad. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Regan Deering, congressional candidate for Illinois' 13th district, the open seat. She's won the Republican primary, and she would like to defeat the Democrats in November. And we'd like to learn a little bit more about how she intends to do so. Regan Deering on the Annie Frey Show in a minute.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. This is ANN. I-E. Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show. Second Amendment Radio is a staple of solid firearm information on 97.1 every weekend. Saturday from 3 to 4 and Sunday from noon to 1. It's Second Amendment Radio and the great outdoors. 97.1 FM Talk.
LakesideRenovationAndDesign.com. That's the website. Go visit Lakeside Renovation and Design and peruse some of the examples, the beautiful examples that they have on renovating your home. You can talk about the inside of your home, but let's also talk about the exterior of your home. James Hardie siding, beautiful, gorgeous James Hardie siding that is going to transform that look, the feel, that pull in the driveway and you look at your house and you, wow, that's mine. Lakeside Renovation and Design can make that happen for you. They can also help you with window replacements. If you've noticed, especially during these hot St. Louis summer days, that your air conditioning is seeping out of unsealed windows, those builder's grade windows that are a couple decades old and they aren't really working anymore. You're losing money on the energy efficiency of your home when your windows don't do what they're supposed to do. Lakeside Renovation and Design can help you fix that problem with gorgeous windows from Infinity, from Marvin Fiberglass, glass. When you reach out to Lakeside Renovation and Design about those windows, they're the only people who have them. Why? Because Infinity trusts Lakeside Renovation and Design to install their beautiful product the right way every single time. Find out more about your project online at lakesidерenovationanddesign.com.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you've bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Lance Drury Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Biden and the radical left that controls Congress broke the national bank. They unleashed the inflation monster, which broke into our homes and smashed our family piggy banks. Bidenflation now costs you $460 more every month. It's a Biden failure tax that hits the poor and middle class hardest. Our Congressman, Blaine Luetkemeyer, is fighting to fix what Biden broke.
We can get America back on track. First, we have to stop Biden's runaway spending of money we don't have to bring down inflation. We have to end Biden's war on American energy and return to energy independence. That will bring down gas prices, and we build that wall and re-secure the border.
Our Congressman, Blaine Luetkemeyer, is fighting to fix what Biden broke. Blaine Luetkemeyer is one of us, leading for us.
I'm Blaine Luetkemeyer, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Blaine for Congress.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. How long have you had sharp pain in your heel or that burning sensation on the bottom of your feet? Do you want to lose weight and exercise, but cannot because of foot, ankle, or low back pain? Many people come to the Good Feet store talking about these same issues. The Good Feet store has helped thousands of customers.
The pain in my foot was so bad I could not walk around for any length of time. I walked in the Good Feet store in pain, and I walked out pain-free.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Dearborgs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Good Feet. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief to fit any budget. No shots, no surgery, no medication. Come in for a free test walk today.
Well, you know the saying, what happens at the barbecue stays at the barbecue. Hot July days are best enjoyed with friends, family, and of course, grilling your favorite barbecue treats. But before you know it, sticky fingers, falling utensils, and spilled sauces somehow always make their way into your home. Lucky for you, Zero Res can get it out. With carpet, tile, area rug, and upholstery cleaning services, Zero Res has you covered for whatever messes are making their way inside. Their experienced technicians know how to best clean and care for each of the unique surfaces in your home with their patented cleaning systems. And don't forget about your air ducts. Your air ducts are like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. Trust my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to safely and effectively remove years of built-up dust, dirt, and dander swirling around as your AC is cranking this summer. Schedule your summer cleaning today at ZeroResSTL.com with the Mark Reardon 97.1 KFTK special. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $119. Take $75 off any air duct cleaning package. Tell them that Mark Reardon told you to call Zero Res 474-2020.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Raise 'em up. I'm talking about louder on a Saturday night. The band plays a song you like and you sing along. Raise 'em up.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Get those white sails sailing down in Mexico. It's just a whiskey glass if you ain't making a toast. Lift your tear-filled eyes up to the sky. Coming home, you've been gone too long. Tonight we're gonna raise them up.
Welcome back to the Frey Show. Thanks for spending some of your afternoon with us. We appreciate it. A reminder, you can stream the show live on the Odyssey app, Audacy. Just pull the app up and you can stream us anytime. And you can also rewind that app. If you missed something, wanted to hear it again, you can go up to 24 hours prior to the moment that you open that app up. So if you wanted to go back and listen to 1225 when we had Darren Bailey on today, you certainly can do that even right now. Or if you want to hear this interview again with Regan Deering, you can do that on the Odyssey app as well. She is the congressional candidate for Illinois' 13th district. ReganForCongress.com, REGAN 4 Congress.com. Regan, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Great to have you here.
Thanks so much, Annie. Glad to be on today.
So congratulations on your primary victory. I'm kind of catching up with a lot of the Illinois Republicans that won their primary. I was on vacation primary week, certainly did cast my vote during the primary, and congratulations for winning. Did you know it the whole time that you were going to be able to be victorious in this primary?
Well, thank you for the congratulations. I will have to say my team worked really hard. Being sort of an organic candidate, we knew that we needed to get out and reach voters and talk about my message of sort of just returning this elected office to we the people. I think people have been sort of dissatisfied with their elected officials. And of course, being an open seat, we lost Rodney Davis into a new district primary. And so we really worked hard, and I feel like we covered the district pretty thoroughly. Of course, we have lots more work to do, marching on to November now, but we felt good about the campaign we were running. And I will have to say, I want to give good kudos to my three primary opponents in the 13th Congressional District. We ran a clean race. We focused on the issues and why voters should choose us to be their nominee. And that makes it a lot easier now in having myself as the primary winner and the full support of Terry Martin and Jesse Rising and Matt Hausman going on to November to defeat the Democrats.
Yeah, and it is important that Illinoisans, common sense, I'm not even going to say Republicans, but just people who know that the direction that our country and our state is heading right now is the wrong direction, that we do figure out a way to come together and defeat the party that has put us in the position we are in right now. I want to ask you about, I'm not going to even lead you down a specific road here because I'm interested in your thoughts. What are your constituents in the 13th Congressional District, should you win that race in November? What issues are the most important to your constituents there?
Well, I think that just like those across the country, the economy and inflation kind of take over the priorities as far as people's concerns. We're having a conversation about the 3 Gs, gas, groceries, and grandchildren with a lot of the voters in my district as well. And I think that that's what's going to be on the ballot this November. I mean, a lot of those kitchen table issues, about the economy, and of course, a record high again for inflation today coming out. We're not in a transitory inflation period. Joe Biden's been talking about for over a year now about how this is just not going to continue, but yet here we are. And so I think that this November, voters are going to put that issue on the ballot as their primary concern.
Regan Deering with us right now, Regan4Congress.com, to learn more about her pursuit for the 13th seat in the United States House of Representatives. Regan, you're not a politician. You're not somebody who has personal experience, that, from what I understand, knowing the ropes of how the political world works. And many people see that as a great advantage. And some people might say it is a disadvantage. How do you view your experience or lack of it, at least in the world of politics?
Well, I definitely did my due diligence in considering a run like many, in my family and in my communities. We have just found there to be a disconnect between elected officials and what the people really want. And we need good people to step up and run for office. I myself have had experience in my community advocating for low-income families. I've been an educator. I have been a small business owner. So knowing those real-world experiences and kind of the ability to bring people together and problem solve, I think it's what people are looking for. So while I don't necessarily have experience working on a campaign or being an elected official, I'd like to think just some common sense and the ability to problem solve is what people are asking for these days. I spoke to a handful of people in Washington, just asking, is it as swampy as it looks from out here or as broken as it looks? Some people said it's worse. Others said, well, we're making progress in 2020. We had a lot of women and minorities elected to Congress. We have people that are not afraid of bipartisanship, which is where I find myself as well. We just want to make progress. We're tired of all the noise. We're tired of elected officials, digging their heels in on what their side wants. And I just think people are looking for someone that can represent them. They can see reflected in themselves, and just know it's going to work hard for them.
Regan Deering with us right now. You can learn more about her. You can follow her on Twitter at Regan for Congress. I would like to know what your thoughts are on the 13th district, the way it is comprised now, because many people know, but not everybody does, that the redistricting did just take place. So the 13th doesn't look the same way it did before. You might be representing people in the 13th that didn't used to be in the 13th. And there might be other people who have always been in the 13th district and now find themselves with a different representative. It was a very specifically drawn district. And if people look and want to know what the word gerrymander means, they should just look at a congressional map of the state of Illinois. How come the district is shaped the way it is? And how can you, as somebody who is a conservative Republican, effectively represent all of the people in the district?
Sure. Well, you're absolutely right in that this district map is so convoluted. I mean, we have precincts that are split, not only towns, counties. I mean, it's very unusually shaped, but it was clearly by design. So I have a focus of universities. I have urban cores in larger cities in the central and southern Illinois. I have a lot of medical institutions and a lot of, labor force that is in this district. So I think Democrats sort of went all in on putting as many Democrats as possible in this district, why, in fact, it was held up in court until December. I believe it was the NAACP out of St. Louis that was kind of the last, defender of the terrible map. And unfortunately, it passed through. So, of course, we have the delay in a June primary. But, I think that people across the state are very concerned, like you mentioned earlier. Nobody feels like the Democratic administration is taking this country in the right direction. And we have a lot of the same concerns. We want to be able to have our individual freedoms. We want to be able to raise our families in safe neighborhoods. We want to have good jobs. We want to have great schools. And so I think that my common sense conservatism will apply throughout the district. It's my responsibility to get out and meet people and talk to them about what my priorities are. And I appreciate an audience like yours that is wide and allows me the opportunity to reach as many people here. But we're on the ground as well because, we do want to be able to see success in our communities. And, I think there are many Democrats in this district. I mean, it's a D+3 district now. It's dropped down from a D+4. And we've worked down from Democratic likely to Democratic leaning to murmurs of a toss-up, which I think is a good indication that a Republican can, in fact, hold on to this seat in November. And, the majority runs right through here in Illinois. So I hope to be one of those seats. But for me, it's talking to people and meeting them where they are and knowing how we can help. I mean, we have some very low-income communities in this district that have been left behind by their government, and going to them and saying, look, I've done this kind of work in my community where we're trying to offer people more of a hand up than hand out. We want to be able to get services to you. We want to make those connections. We want to work on job growth. We have community colleges in this district that are working on job skills training and looking for alternatives for our high school graduates. I mean, I think it's a very complex conversation, but one I love having throughout the district. We're not always going to agree on everything, but I think we need to make some serious progress throughout this 13th. And I'd love to be the representative that can do that.
We're speaking with Regan Deering, who is running for the 13th district in the state of Illinois. Is an open seat. Your opponent is Nikki Budzinski, and she is the Democratic nominee to take the 13th. Tell me what you know about Nikki Budzinski and how she would contrast with what you are offering these constituents.
Well, I think Nikki Budzinski is a candidate that will be someone that continues the policies that are similar to the Biden administration. I've learned that she subsequently worked for the Biden administration just up until last year when she decided to move back to Springfield in the district and run for this seat. So I think that she will toe the line when it comes to supporting policies that the Biden administration and the Democrats and Pelosi overall are pushing on us. And I don't think people are looking for that. I have had an opportunity to meet her. We had a forum together during the primary, and I think we have some stark contrasts on, what supporting working families looks like. So, I'm someone that has owned a small business, so I can feel the pinch like they have with, government overreach and taxing and, knowing what it's like to create jobs in my community. Having been an educator, we were talking about the public education system. That's kind of been a buzz between she and I over the last few weeks, because I made a comment about the teachers unions and their summer meetings and what their priorities and their demands are. And I feel like it's not reflective of what our children want. I'm a mom myself. I have 2 children in public school. I'm not looking to do away with the public education system. I just want them to do better. And competition drives betterment across the board. So, I think there are some very stark differences in how we're going to approach things and how our life experiences are directing, our desires and our policies for the district.
Well, Regan Deering, thank you for coming on with us today. I really want people to understand how close this 13th race is going to be. I talk frequently as somebody, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri right now, of course, as an Illinois resident. But when I look at the Missouri Senate seat that is being vacated by a retiring Roy Blunt, man, that Senate seat staying Republican in Missouri is a huge importance to me in the state of Illinois and for the entire country. These seats that are looking like toss-up seats in Illinois, they are very, very valuable to people across the country. That majority needs to be as strong as possible, Regan, and we're going to be following your campaign against the Democrat, Nikki Budzinski, very closely all the way through November. Thank you for being here today with us.
Thank you so much, Annie. Have a great week.
Yes, you as well. Learn more about her at ReganForCongress.com. REGAN, Regan, the number 4, Congress.com. Again, you can put your money where your mouth is if you want to see things change. I would look very closely, Illinois folks, at that Missouri Senate seat and be involved. You can be involved. Get involved. If you see somebody in that Missouri Senate primary that you think would be better than another person, get involved in that. And Illinoisans, you can be a part of something good there. You have a Senate seat open yourself. Tammy Duckworth is up for re-election, and you have Salvi, who won that primary, who is going to potentially unseat Tammy Duckworth. That is a tough road to hoe for sure, but we have to be involved. And for Missourians who hear these races, especially these toss-up races when it has to do with Congress, I want to make sure that you understand that these races are going to be very close and everything helps. Your support matters now more than it ever has before. We're going to take a quick break. More Annie Frey Show right around the corner. The Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Have you altered your spending due to the rise in inflation? Yes or no? Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. You'll see that we are broadcasting live there. You can watch the show. Hello to everybody who is watching right now. And you can vote in that poll in the live chat section. Tell us if you've altered your spending due to the rise in inflation. And if you so choose, leave a comment as to why you voted the way you did, and we'll read a few of those at the end of the show. We'll be back in a minute. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. The Mark Reardon Show.
Jeff Smith, Trump could get in and specifically endorse, right?
Trump could endorse Eric Greitens. Trump could endorse Eric Schmidt. And there's a teensy-tiny chance that Trump would endorse Billy Long.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can just Google the Bagelone and save yourself some time here while I'm talking to you about the many benefits of reaching out to Stewie to figure out what you can do about your own personal economic situation. When you are considering a mortgage refinance, or potentially you haven't considered it yet, I want to pique your interest here, because as interest rates go up, I'm not just talking about mortgage interest rates, folks. I'm talking about credit card debt, high interest loans that you have. If it's adjustable and it goes up, that's going to cost you a lot in the long run. Look at the equity in your home and see if there is an opportunity for you to save on that high interest debt, pay it off with the equity that's in your home, and do it in the smartest way possible. with a bagel loan from Stewart's American Mortgage. Why is that the smartest way possible? Because when you go through the bagel loan with Stewie, you don't pay any of those fees that can really, really add up that everybody else out there is going to charge you for. Reach out to Stewie at 314-324-4440. You can call or text him at 314-324-4440. I've used the bagel loan twice myself, and I think it could help you as well. Google the bagel loan and MLS number 226715.
We thought it was over.
Missouri Republican Governor Eric Greitens has just resigned this afternoon.
Scandal after scandal.
Already facing a felony charge, now accused of a second felony.
Now there's more about Eric Greitens.
Former Missouri governor is now accused of spousal abuse and intimidation.
In a sworn affidavit, Eric Greitens' former wife said,
I became afraid for my safety and that of our children due to Eric's unstable and coercive behavior. Physical violence toward our children, cuffing our then 3-year-old son across the face, yanking him around by his hair, a swollen face, bleeding gums, and a loose tooth. He said Dad had hit him. I wanted to protect our children because I was afraid of what Eric would do.
Scandals, felony charges, now physical abuse allegations. That's not conservative, but it's the real Eric Greitens. Paid for by Show Me Values PAC, showmevalues.org, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Show Me Values PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hello, this is Dave Walker, former Comptroller General of the United States. The federal government has grown dramatically, promised too much, lost control of its budget, and must restructure its finances in order to create a better future.
I agree, Dave. This is Ken Heisey from Heisey Advisory Group, and you're invited to a special event on Thursday, August 25th. Dave and I will talk about our country's financial issues and how they may impact your retirement. Learn why it's critical to take action now and discover strategies that can help protect your future. If you've saved at least $750,000 for retirement, call 314-328-6000 to register for this special event. After a decades-long mission to promote fiscal responsibility at all levels of government, you won't want to miss what Dave has to say. Call 314-328-6000.
Dave Walker is not affiliated with and does not endorse Heisey Advisory Group or AE Wealth Management, LLC. Heisey Advisory Group may not provide tax advice and is not affiliated with the U.S. government. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AAMCO.
Tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studios. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 53 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Up-to-the-minute traffic reports, so you don't have to keep looking at your phone. Dependable traffic on 97.1 FM Talk. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Where it began, I can't begin to knowing, but then I know it's growing strong. Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along?
Primary voters want a different nominee. 2/3. If you break it down by age, 94% of Democratic primary voters under the age of 30, 94% say they don't want Biden. That is a stunning number.
Yes.
I mean, he swept his grandchildren, but other than that, I mean, like 94% don't want him, who are, again,
94%.
Democrats under the age of 30.
I wonder, Jake Tapper talking about this, the subsect of people polled was Democratic primary voters under 30. That has to be like 9 people.
I didn't know where you're going with that, but yes, not a whole lot of voters in that category.
It's kind of a Fox Newsy kind of way to approach it. You know what I'm saying? Like to see Jake Tapper with a panel in front of him identifying the unpopularity of Joe Biden and to use the statistics of Democratic primary voters under 30. There are not a lot of those people.
No, there's zero passion for him. Is that why you think he's going to do something dramatic with student loans or something like that? Is just to try to make a wave with that group?
Well, I mean, primary voters it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat at all. Primary or young or old. It doesn't matter how. Primary voters is a small group of the population.
That's your most passionate population right there. That's the people you should be carrying if you're going to do a good job. And he's not carrying any of them.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but I just feel like when you're trying to indicate the despair that voters might have for said president, the people who are under 30, I mean, more for the Democrats than the Republicans, certainly, but the people who are under 30 voting in a primary are not going to be reflective of the whole voting public in a general.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I guess they're going to be the furthest left, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and dumbest. Just kidding. Most inexperienced.
Yeah, that's true. That's going to be your most passionate and probably most progressive bloc. But it's weird because he has governed very
Hannah.
progressively. Hannah doesn't count.
No, she's commenting on the live stream right now.
He's governed from the far left. He just doesn't paint himself that way. So
he doesn't paint himself anyway.
Right, you're right. He doesn't do anything.
It's really unbelievable how leftist he has governed, how centrist he campaigned, and how absent he is to illustrate anything. I mean, he doesn't show up to do or say anything unless he's specifically told when, where, and how to do it, and then he doesn't even get that right. I mean, I get the vibe that it is absolutely the minimum that they can possibly ask of him. Everything that he is asked to do, they have to be asking themselves 2, 3, 4 times. Does he really have to do this? Is there any way we can get away with anybody else doing this instead of the president?
He could still go biking. Let's get him go biking.
He can't do that either.
No, not anymore.
He fell over.
Whoops. That's why I keep seeing these favorability polls that have dropped. Not the real clear average, although it's really, really low. But the ones that individually he's dropped into the 20s on. I mean, they're carrying the average down further overall, which is very low. But I keep seeing them. I go, that's not Republican voters, though. This isn't the average vote. Some of them is middle ground people just saying, I don't like this. He's not doing anything. He's terrible. But this is now what we're seeing is Democrat voters giving him negative favorability ratings because he's not doing enough on the left, which I don't think that's a great read on the favorability poll.
I don't really see people complaining that he's not doing enough on the left. It's that he's doing things and he's not in control of the message, what was the last interview he did? Kimmel? And his response to Jimmy Kimmel was not that the policies were wrong, it was that the messaging wasn't right. And that's when he came out and was like, the media is not giving him a fair shake.
Oh gosh.
What?
Amazing.
Like, give me a break. I mean, regardless of what he is or isn't doing, it's almost as if you're in a self-driving vehicle and it looks like the car's about to go off of the road and Joe Biden's sitting in the front passenger seat and you're sitting in the back going, do something. And he's like, got his headphones on.
But he's sitting in the front passenger seat, like sitting like Fonzie with his feet facing the wrong direction. He's looking out the back window accidentally.
Feet facing the wrong direction. But the president doesn't seem to think that he has issues. He is confident in his ability to continue
Democrats
to
who
be popular.
don't want you to run. They want me to run. 2/3 say they don't.
Read the polls, Jack.
Jack.
You guys are all the same. That poll showed that 92% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote for me.
A majority of Democrats say they don't want you to run again in 2024.
92% said if I did, they'd vote for me.
And the real story here is why not Jill? Why Jack?
It's It's a great question. Well, I mean, what is a woman, though? What is a Jill?
Just because this Jill doesn't mean
yeah,
it's a woman. Why would you gender Jill?
I didn't. Why did you gender Jack?
This could go wrong real
Joe?
fast.
I didn't gender no Jill or Jack. Joseph.
I thought that Cy from Duck Dynasty was the only one who said Jack all the time.
Well,
I'm
Joe
okay
Biden
with it. I like it.
Watches Duck Dynasty, as you know.
Yep, those are
Loves
his
that
people.
show.
Huge
That's
fan.
his people.
This is my favorite thing about Joe Biden is that he just said Jack.
Yeah, me too. That's pretty much it.
Hey, Jack.
I like his hair. I like the little hair thing in the back.
No.
I like that. That's my favorite thing about Joe
Well,
Biden.
then you should do it
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to perm mine, as we had talked about in the break.
off air.
Yep.
It's amazing that we've talked about this now twice. Here's Joe Concha.
It's always been about the perspective and the things they want to implement, like saying if we spend trillions of more dollars on top of the trillions we spend, that will lower inflation and the deficit. It's actually an argument that this president and this administration makes, which is complete and utter nonsense. And look, Joe Biden having these numbers, quite frankly, is one of the least surprising things we've seen in modern politics. I mean, this is a man who is profoundly below average in terms of a student, and oh, by the way, was a serial plagiarist all the way back to law school, and going through to the first time he ran for president, and then beyond that when he was a senator. He tells tall tale after tall tale as if he's, Brian Williams meets Jesse Smollett of politics, and he failed upwards through the Senate to the vice presidency and all the way to the presidency. And now he's polling lower easily than any first-term president from Truman to Trump.
So if you look at, like we were saying before, is he doing enough stuff on the far left to make the far left happy? The far left, I feel like the things that are taking place in this country that are a disaster, that the people who are on the far left, they know that's the outcome. But they need this to happen so that they can build it back better, maybe, in the way that they think that it would be better to restore America to something that it never has been before, if that's even possible. And what you need is somebody who controls the message. You need a Barack Obama. You need somebody who can come in and sweet talk the country and the media into believing whatever falls out of your mouth. And Joe Biden's problem is that things only fall out of his mouth.
No, I get what you're saying. You need an Obama who's going to come in and be like, hey, I love you, baby. Here's what we're going to do.
Don't look at me like that.
Whereas Joe Biden.
Next time you say that, will you look at Brad?
Okay.
Don't you
I love
dare.
you. Yeah, I love you.
All right, Brian.
I love you, and I need you to vote for this just this one time.
Look, I know.
Look, I agree with you.
I know.
Hey, knock it off!
But Biden came
I'm
in,
out.
and instead of talking people's love language, he just sniffed them.
Ew.
So,
Dude.
people don't like him because he's not able to communicate in that sweet, sweet way. You know what sweet way I'm talking about. Touching you. Yeah. Come on, baby. Sweet Caroline. Just vote for it this one time, baby. Good times never seem so good. Take it to break.
I'm going to go throw up.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, August 2nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seats are limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and concerned how all the market volatility is hurting your retirement accounts? Would you like to know why our clients have not lost a penny with all the market losses this year? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can now roll over your 401k tax-free to protect your nest egg and still generate more income than most investment options? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, August 2nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
The real question is, can Corey Malone get me back into my comfort zone after Ryan Wiggins just screws up the whole dang thing? I don't know if that's what Corey's trying to sell here.
I don't either. We should call Corey and just ask him the question.
You can't.
Make him listen to that
I can't
break.
get into my comfort zone if you're still here.
I'm leave. I'm out.
I need HVAC here.
Goodbye.
Stat. I need comfort zone. If you are trying to figure out how to get the comfort zone back in your house, if your air conditioner isn't pushing the cold air through the house that it needs to, or in the past, in my house, I've talked to you about this before, but the AeroSeal duct sealing, that makes it so that your house heats and cools evenly. That ductwork, if it has gaps and holes in it throughout, your air is going to seep out of that ductwork. It's not going to make it to the second floor of your home where your bedrooms are. At least that was our situation. Whether your air conditioner needs a tune-up maintenance or a whole replacement, or you need to have that AeroSeal duct sealing, call the people I trust. Air Comfort Service, 314-513-0091. You can find them online right now at aircomfortservice.com.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
Biden's first Middle East trip. I'm Mary Corsetti, Fox News. President Biden is in Israel as White House officials are trying to plan ahead for his visit to Saudi Arabia.
The Israel leg of this trip is not as mired in potential pitfalls as the second stop in Saudi Arabia, where the president will be meeting with the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman as part of this overall push to ramp up oil production to bring down prices and thereby bring down inflation, hopefully. But because of the Saudis' record on human rights and the not so small problem that the CIA thinks that the Crown Prince signed off on the murder of a U.S. journalist, the White House is pretty leery of a photo op. So they came up with a plan where Biden would avoid shaking hands for the duration of his time abroad.
Fox's Jackie Henry. Meanwhile, the latest consumer price index report shows inflation rose 9.1% year over year in June, with food costs up over 10% and energy costs up 40%. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell blames Democrats' federal spending for the inflation.
These are staggeringly bad numbers, and they were fueled directly by the reckless spending spree that Democrats rammed through on party line just last year.
Democrats are blaming the COVID-19 pandemic's impact on supply chains and Russia's invasion of Ukraine for the inflation and predict falling gas prices will be reflected in next month's report. Plus, Senate Republicans are urging the Biden administration to change course in dealing with illegal immigration.
Top Senate Foreign Relations Committee Republican Jim Risch says new legislation isn't necessarily needed to reduce the number of migrants crossing the southern border.
What we have in front of you is a blueprint for the next administrations to deal with this critical problem.
Risch says illegal migration increased after the Biden administration ended Trump-era policies. Democrats criticized Trump administration policies as undermining humanitarian obligations.
Fox's Jared Halpern. America is listening to Fox News.
Dell's Black Friday and July sale is here. Power productivity with a tech refresh, now with up to 45% off top-rated laptops like the XPS, along with our special deals on business desktops with Intel Core processors. Get big savings on the latest servers, storage, monitors, and more with free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Are you tired of being tracked online? There's a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more, all for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with the push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about plenty of sunshine on this Wednesday afternoon. No real weather complaints. Sunshine in control. Temperatures pretty close to average. 89 for the high, plus the humidity levels bearable anyway. Tonight, clear skies. 80s this evening. 69 for the low. Thursday, sunny skies. Still okay humidity levels. Nothing weird anyway. 92 more humid than 92 on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Look, we've got a city and a board of aldermen that has turned around within 2 weeks and prioritized $1 million to send women to Illinois for abortions. And we don't hear about crime or solutions for that. I think the people in the city realize that that's bunk. I don't care if you're pro-life or pro-choice. That is not a priority that should exist right now. I guess the progressives think it should, but people are worried about crime and paying their bills.
The Mark Reardon Show. Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Summertime is no time to run out of energy, guys, and Victory Men's Health can help. Mark Cox here. Book your appointment today at any of their 3 locations. They're now in Wing Haven in O'Fallon, Missouri. They're in Town and Country in the original location in O'Fallon, Illinois. Victory Men's Health has 400 plus 5-star Google reviews. There isn't another men's clinic in town that comes close to that kind of rating. Book your appointment today online at victorymenshealth.com.
Attention. Per the current government mandate, U.S.-based insurers are now required to cover at-home COVID testing kits with no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you each month absolutely free, as long as the government mandate is in effect. Just visit testkitforfree.com to register now from the comfort of your own home. That's testkitforfree.com to receive your tests shipped to you at no cost. Go to testkitforfree.com today. Paid for by T Euro Health.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458, 800-481-1458, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
So if you've been looking for somebody in the business that you trust to purchase some jewelry, maybe it's an engagement ring, maybe it's an anniversary ring, I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop has been a sponsor of the Annie Frey Show since before I was even on weekdays. They were with me on Saturdays, and I have met all of the people there. And I want to tell you, these are genuine, real deal people who know the business of jewelry like nobody else in the business. The Diamond Shop has been around in Clayton since 1910. And if you were looking for a piece and your budget is, small or gigantic, either way, anywhere in between, the Diamond Shop can help you navigate the process of buying the right piece of jewelry or even a custom-made piece of jewelry. And you will be so excited to present that gift or to wear it yourself, even if you are getting it for yourself. That's absolutely encouraged, and I totally support that. Also, right now, throughout July, you can save up to 70% off of in-stock jewelry at the Diamond Shop. So make your way to the Diamond Shop in Clayton and see my friends, all of them there at the Diamond Shop for your next jewelry purchase. To find out all the information and also to become VIP, you can sign up right there online at thediamondshop.net.
Nature Valley has helped restore access to 10,000 miles of national park trails and counting, because everyone deserves to experience what's out there. Head over to your local park to see for yourself. Nature Valley, life happens out there.
How might this week's big stories impact your portfolio? Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale with Stifel. Join me and fellow Stifel financial advisor Eric Robert during On the Money every Saturday from 11 till noon right here on 97.1 FM Talk. Stifel, member NYSE and SIPC.
If you use a smart speaker, you can listen to 97.1 easier than ever. Just tell it to play 97.1 FM Talk. Or download the Odyssey app for your phone and stream the station whenever, wherever.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want? from me. I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. A really just wonderful compliment here from Linda on the YouTube page. She says, OMG, I love you guys. You make me laugh almost daily, which kind of feels like a failure.
That's great. Yeah. We usually take like Tuesdays and Thursdays off.
Almost every day you say something that makes me kind of think, well, that was amusing.
All right. Maybe I'll tune back tomorrow. You know what? Just skip every other day.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
And then we'll be batting 1,000.
We'll be batting 1,000 and off the air. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have 0 ratings.
We could bat 0.
Anyway, thanks for listening, Linda. We appreciate that. And thanks for joining us on the YouTube channel. The Annie Frey YouTube channel live chat poll right now. Have you altered your spending due to the rise in inflation? Yes or no? Go to the YouTube live chat and vote yes or no. And that you can leave us a comment if you want to. You don't have to, but you can. And let us know what you think. We'll talk about that with the results and Hannah at the end of the show. Okay, so when Ryan, we kind of covered this in A Wiggins America earlier this week, but realistically, as far as threats to you, your safety, the security of the country, what do you think is the biggest threat that you personally feel exists right now in the United States?
The threat... The biggest threat I feel is economic. I feel like our money, look, there's a lot of power in money. There's a lot of reason why people want to come to the U.S. It's the reason the U.S. leads in almost every area. When you devalue that, you are taking away not just people's wealth, you're taking away the influence and power that the country has over tyrannical countries like China. That to me, and that's a big, broad one. So it's not like right now I'm worried about this for my family's safety. There are other concerns like that.
What other honorable mentions then? So the economy, money, and the uncertainty that comes with that. But any honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions would be that I feel like I'm a little more vulnerable to just crime as a person. Just walking around sometimes in downtown, but really anywhere. And I feel better being in the suburbs because I feel like that's a place where we all honor and really let the police know we like them. We are glad you're here. But there are areas where obviously we go all the time where that's not the case. And I just wonder if there's ever some random crime here, the goal is not going to be to save my life. The goal is going to be, well, how do we sort of like limit the damage? So you're kind of a casualty of these things. And I guess that's always been the case. I mean, police can't get there and stop every crime. But I just feel like more so than ever, you're just more vulnerable to a random crime.
Anything else worth mentioning? Or those are the two big ones.
Those are the two that come to mind first.
Brad, biggest threats?
Biggest threats? I'm going to go with Ryan on the crime thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like, I read a story about a man who broke into a woman's house with an axe to attack her, and that was in Fairview Heights, Illinois.
I sent you that story.
That is just down the road from me. And I'm like, oh. And of course, I responded to your message with, a picture of my pistol. Like, this is why I always keep it by me.
Yeah.
But some sort of random crime, and not even like you said, I guess it was yesterday, somebody hoping there's $20 that they can get their next fix out of,
The scariest part about it is the lack. It's not, I mean, there's no personal attachment to anything. They just need something and you're in the way.
You know what? I do want to mention, we are seeing more homelessness, and it looks, I'm very much judging here, but it looks like homelessness due to drugs in suburban communities than I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know if that's just being more aware of it, but it seems like you're just seeing it more.
Yeah, I'm noticing that there are people sleeping in areas of downtown O'Fallon.
Yeah,
they've got their bikes and their bags and their blankets and whatnot. And at my church, I don't know if I told you guys this. I used to park my truck out there when I would mow, and I had a homeless guy fall asleep in the front seat of my truck. And that's unsettling. To walk up on that, and then you've got to try to command that situation and get him out of there. Yeah, no, that's my biggest.
So I noticed that neither one of you mentioned nuclear attack.
I don't know that I got the energy for that.
That was third.
I threw that opportunity for you to put.
Well, as you know, I'm a 50s kid.
New York City put out a PSA as to what to do in case of a nuclear attack.
A nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why.
But if you say don't ask me how or why.
Wait, what was the first line?
The sentence there is, So there's been a nuclear attack. This is a PSA put out by, I believe, New York City. So there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why. That's not even its own sentence. That's the first half of a sentence. Then she just rubs on by that.
Wait, so there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why. Just know that the big one has hit. Okay? So what do? There are 3 important steps that I want you to remember. Step 1, get inside fast. You, your friends, your family, get inside.
Yeah.
And no, staying in the car is not an option. You need to get into a building and move away from the windows.
Wait, how and why?
Step 2, stay inside. Shut all doors and windows. Have a basement? Head there. If you don't have one, get as far into the middle of the building as possible. If you were outside after the blast, get clean immediately. Remove and bag all outer clothing to keep radioactive dust or ash away from your body. Step 3, stay tuned. Follow media for more information. Don't forget to sign up for Notify NYC for official alerts and updates. And don't go outside until officials say it's safe. All right? You've got this.
Well, guess it, you kind of walk away going, all right, I got this. I got a nuclear attack.
But I know what to do.
I've got bad news for them about the step 3.
The media.
They took it seems like they took a long time telling you, go inside.
Joe says on YouTube, I saw this video. Newsflash, you're going to die.
Yeah. If the nuke hits New York City, I don't think going inside your 100-year-old apartment is going to help too much.
So I have on my own, because I have insomnia. And so this is the type of thing that hits at like 2:15. Like, so if there's a nuclear attack, like if you can see the blast, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
You don't got this.
Yeah.
You are in trouble. But if you know that a nuclear bomb hit and you're been made aware of it, there's probably still things you should do. So I've wondered about that. And the radioactive material on your clothes and all that stuff and staying inside, like the most insulated, because the radioactivity can permeate buildings and so on and so forth. I've actually researched that. So I don't discount the concept that maybe it's something that people might want to know. I do really question why New York City would put this out as a 1-minute PSA with the first sentence being, don't ask why or how.
Yeah. Seems like the first and second question would be why? Then how? Then third, they do answer this one. Can I get in my car?
Yeah.
Building, eh? What about my car?
Yeah.
Nope. Sorry. You got this, though.
Does it make you wonder what they know that you don't know?
I think I know what they know that I don't know, and I don't like it.
This looks like a diversion to me.
It's very bizarre, especially in New York City, where we are seeing crime after crime after crime being committed. That if you were somebody who would be in New York City or lives in New York City, you might think that maybe that crime might be a little bit more of an important issue at this time.
So your city's been taken over by progressives. It's important for you to understand your life is about to get a lot worse. But there are steps that you can take to stay safe. Step 1. Get inside. Progressive crime policies mean your streets are about to become violent, drug-fueled homeless nightmares. Step 2, watch out for human excrement. It's going to be everywhere. Poor city planning, urban decay, and lack of law enforcement mean public streets are now public bathrooms. Step 3, stay tuned to the media. The media know what's best for your family. The media are better than you. Also, don't get too attached to your wallet. You're going to lose a lot of them.
That was Gutfeld last night. They put together that parody. And, I am aware of things in my life that I feel a little more threatening if I'm here or there. I have taken precautions to make myself feel safer in those situations. But just drop it in like a casual nuclear attack PSA.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck is that?
Yeah. And there are differences too. I know that was a joke, but you can't get in your car in a nuclear attack. You can drive through a decent amount of human excrement at no cost to you or your car. You're probably fine. That seems like a diversion, doesn't it? Like, there's a lot of things going on, but here's what we want you to worry about now.
Pretty bold diversion.
It sure is. I mean, you got to go big, right?
And things are so bad. We want you worrying about a nuclear war.
The mayor Adams was just his response to it was basically like, well, we just want people to be prepared.
Yeah. Well, that's like in the middle of coronavirus when people are like, you know what is next? Murder hornets.
And yeah.
And you're like, what? Really? Like, there's never, did anybody really get like problems with murder hornets? Or was it just sort of like a ginned up attack?
I never saw a murder hornet.
I never did either.
There was a hornet though in my house, in my bedroom, right when that story came out. And I was like Googling things.
I remember that.
And I was like, I don't know what to do. It's in here.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to come over and kill this thing right now. Yeah. Murder hornets.
If you saw a murder hornet, you are no longer with us.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
That was the story.
Everybody who saw him is gone.
Do you think that talking about nuclear attacks in PSAs is, what do you think that brings the attention to?
It brings the attention to a bigger threat that is no longer what you're actually dealing with.
What does the Biden administration blame for everything economic in this country?
Putin, yeah. Russia.
Who's the craziest person who would relish the opportunity to put fear in the American people's minds?
Biden.
When he's napping. I mean, if you think about the global reputations of the people who the Biden administration blames for all of his problems is Vladimir Putin. And, you know, I feel like that's digging pretty deep to like sew all these things together. But if you want to control people, make them scared. People, I mean, that's what people did. That people gave a lot of deference to the government in COVID because it was scary. And I remember watching Governor Cuomo give his updates or whatever. And I remember thinking that there was initially, you know, don't at me. Initially there was a sense of peace because of the way that he was handling these things on a daily basis and talking about the issues in a way that seemed consumable. And I'm talking about like the first 2 weeks of COVID when everybody was shutting down and closing things down. And fear makes everybody about face and just listen to the people who have the opportunity to speak. And can't think of many things more scary than a nuclear attack. I mean, you listen to the Department of Homeland Security. What's the biggest threat to the United States of America? You two dudes, you white people.
Yeah, well,
white supremacy.
Yeah, or moms.
Climate change.
Getting involved in their schooling.
Don't turn this on the women.
It's always about the women.
If you pay attention to what the administration is telling you is the problem, it's either foreign or it's white supremacy. And none of those things really have anything to do with the stuff that you guys listen to, which is the day-to-day crime that exists in all of our communities. It's coming into the suburbs, and also the economic despair that many Americans are facing one way or the other. So to your point, Ryan, is it a distraction? Maybe. But it also invokes fear in people. Of course, you release a PSA in New York City, and everyone's going to talk about it. You release that PSA in St. Louis or Kansas City, maybe some people talk about it for a day. But it does get people's attention. And I do think it has to do with fear. And I think it's supposed to make us potentially unify behind the opposite of Putin, which is Biden right now. It's bizarre to me.
Yeah. Who's a great, how do we find a greater enemy to try to bring people? You know, the last line of that is really the key to the whole thing. And that's what you talk about, what scares you. In that PSA, the threat of nuclear war does not scare me. And maybe I'm naive. Maybe it should.
Well,
but it doesn't.
I don't know about this, but you are the most naive person I know.
Yes, there's no doubt about it.
You were self-admitted naive.
Shoot, naive is written on the ceiling, Ryan. Oh, it is?
He's naive to himself.
Yeah. But the last line of that is, and don't come out until government officials tell you it's okay. That line.
That's right after stay in touch with the media.
Yes. Yeah. Listen to the media. Listen to the media. And don't come outside of your house until the government says you can. That stuff scares me a little bit more than the nukes right now after what we've just been through for the last 2 years.
Yeah. It's really weird. Like, I'm still not afraid of nuclear attacks.
I know.
But I am a little more skeptical of government and media.
Yes, after the last 2 years.
Man. All right, let's take a quick break. More Annie Frey Show right around the corner. You have to go vote in that Annie Frey YouTube poll, kind of talking about what these two gentlemen just said about their biggest concerns, feeling threatened by the current economy. Have you altered your spending due to the rise in inflation? Yes or no? Go vote. We found out today the inflation is up to 9.1%, something that I don't know that I've experienced in my lifetime. Has it changed the way you're living your life? We'll talk about that when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
But you walked past me like I wasn't there and just pretended like you didn't care.
Decision 2022 is happening. Are you ready to decide? The primary candidates are here because they want to talk to you. Decision 2022. Coverage sponsored by Air Comfort Service and TR Hughes Homes.
So if you are looking for something to do on August 2nd after you go vote in the Missouri primary, come join me and Mark Hawks and Mark Reardon at the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, and learn how you can make sure that you have that worry-free retirement. That sounds lovely. I'm looking forward to that day. If you haven't already looked into what the Retirement Advisory Group can offer you, or what Thomas Helbig has done with so many other Annie Frey Show listeners over the course of the years to secure that retirement, all that work that you've put into making sure that you can take care of yourself when the time comes, you need to connect with Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and the Retirement Advisory Group. You need to reserve your spot at 314-993-9494. Call 314-993-9494 and get your spot reserved today. It is at the Plaza Frontenac, and it's August 2nd at 6:30 p.m. You can visit along with Mark Cox, Mark Reardon, myself. We will be there at about 6 o'clock, shaking hands and getting to know you before the event starts at 6:30. I know you'll find it as informative as so many of the other listeners have in the past. Again, 314-993-9494. You can find them online at retirementkey.com.
A bad team facing a good team is never completely out of it.
Nick Kostos, co-host of You Better You Bet, 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on the BetQL network.
There's 162 games in the season. The best teams are going to lose 60 plus times, and the worst teams are going to win 60 plus times. Each night is its own individual entity. That's what makes betting on the baseball regular season so much fun.
All the insight you need to bet smarter is at BetQL.com. And listen to You Better You Bet with Nick Kostos and Ken Barkley, streaming weekdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on Odyssey.
The Wall Street Journal reported that home equity is at record levels. And while home values continue to soar, rising interest rates make it harder than ever to unlock equity. But what if you could cash out your home's equity right now while it's still sky high and not have to move? You can with Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value. Best of all, you get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home. And Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance too. Let's review. Truehold pays your home's full value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of, like travel or pay off debt. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 1-855-300-9993. 1-855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Lance Drury Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Updating your home with James Hardie siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to ensure you maximize your investment. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. They also carry Anderson and Marvin windows and doors. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free no-obligation consultation today. SidingExpress.com.
Shot through the heart, and you're too late, darling. You give love a bad name.
This is ANN IE Frey Show, the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. There's something going on in Europe that I think was made for Ryan Wiggins. And I'm curious, between the two of you, Brad and Ryan, if you would do this. I would not do this. You can stay in a glass hotel room for free, which is probably all you need to know, Ryan.
Is it underwater?
As long as you don't mind strangers watching. It has glass. It's a hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at the Paradiso Art Hotel in Spain. And you can stay in the space for free, but the kicker is that anyone walking by can see you directly into your room.
What's the bathroom situation?
Private.
Ooh, I might do it.
I know you would.
Would I have to stay in the room the whole time, or could I go see Spain?
It
Like,
says,
am I on display?
the hotel room seems pretty standard until you realize it's made of glass walls. It looks more like a display. And there's no shortages of passers-by to remind you of that. So you have to sign a release when you stay there that says that you can be photographed while you're in there, or like people can document the situation. The Zero Suite has a bed, table, chairs, and yes, a private bathroom. Guests can stay in the room one night for free on the condition they sign a release that allows them to be photographed and recorded during the stay.
I'd have to look over that contract pretty carefully, because what it reminds me of is signing a contract and then you find out that you are actually in an alien zoo.
What?
You are a human on display in an alien zoo.
Well, that's the point.
That's what it sounds like.
It's an art attraction in and of itself.
Would you go see the art attraction if I was in it?
I see it every day. This is part of my sentencing.
I don't know why you'd go to Spain and be like, I want to go watch some person walk around their room.
Well, if you were staying in the hotel, you might
that's true.
Take that in. Or if you were walking by, you might be like, oh, there's a hotel room in here that you can see into. It's a voyeuristic thing.
Yeah.
You do it.
I would probably do it. I mean, just the price is right. So,
Brad?
No. There's nothing about that that's even remotely tempting.
Free?
Yeah, no, not at all. Like 1 day, free day in Spain, so everybody can like gawk at you. No.
Just go sleep in the bathtub. Nobody can see you.
Oh, that's super comfortable.
Give a couple beers in you.
Get a stomach flu. Just hang out in the bathroom the whole time.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Spain. I don't think I could do that. I would just think there would be too many creepers, but I mean, I don't know. It's like they're seeing you in public. Like you're in your own space, but they're in public when they see you. So you
can react to them.
Sure.
Right? You could just point back at them. You pointing at me, brother?
That's what Wiggins would do the entire time. He'd just sit on the other side of the glass window and stare back at people.
I just judge them. Like, oh, you're gonna judge me, I'm gonna judge you.
What's the most bizarre thing you've ever done because it was free?
Oh man, that's a good question. Oh man, you sprung this on me. I know there's some good ones. I'd have to think about it. I know for sure that if I was in that hotel room, though, I would take up yoga.
Gosh.
That's what everybody wants to see is Ryan Wiggins' first day of yoga.
Yeah. If they could hear me, I'd tell them, though. Hey, you guys, this is day one.
Like
okay?
Christopher Walken.
Hey, you guys. This is day one of my yoga. All right? The children of the corn.
If I bought you a flight to go stay in this hotel one night, would you do it?
Yeah. No doubt about it. Are you kidding?
You have to live stream the whole thing.
Do I have to fly back immediately? or can I stay?
No,
in Spain?
you can stay in Spain.
Stay there forever, Ryan.
Oh, this is a one-way ticket.
If the deal was, I'll buy you a plane ticket, but it's so that you can just stay in that place for one night, I'd have to consider. I don't know. It's a pretty good price still.
So you would call yourself a bargain hunter.
Oh my gosh, yes.
How would you label yourself when it comes to thrift? Are you cheap?
No.
Are you
smart? That's how I'd label myself. Smart and thrifty. That's fair, right? I know where you're going with this.
No, I'm not going anywhere public.
You already said cheap.
I asked you if you were cheap.
Yeah, thank you.
I was wondering if you'd admit to being cheap.
No, I will not admit to that.
Because anytime that you have an opportunity to save money, anybody has an opportunity to save money, there's generally a sacrifice or risk involved in saving money. Is it legitimate? Is it worth the saving money? I mean, you do get to a point that I don't even know. It's probably different for everybody because it depends on your own personal circumstances and your income and everything. But there's a point in life where you start to realize that you do get what you pay for in many instances. And in those instances, it's worth paying for things.
And how much is your time worth? Because if you got to go through the time to make the, clip the coupons and stuff, is it worth it?
Completely. So would you say that have you always been thrifty?
I was raised that way. I was raised by my mom to be thrifty because she was raised by Depression era farmers. So it's very much generational. I know you didn't expect that serious of an answer just now.
Well, no, I mean,
there you go.
I think we my parents were raised by Depression era people as well.
So were my parents.
And because we're you're over 40. Brad and I aren't.
No, not quite. It's real close. Just want to remind everybody.
No, it's not that close. I mean, it's just pretty far. But I mean, that mentality exists, and I understand the Depression era mentality. But I mean, you take it to another level.
I think, honestly, though, it becomes, and growing up, my dad's not this way, but my mom is, it almost becomes a sport where you're like, oh, if I can beat the system on getting a clearance item at Kohl's or something, you feel like you almost get like an adrenaline rush from it. So there is a little bit of nurture and nature.
You get an adrenaline rush on clearance at Kohl's?
Heck yes.
Does anybody buy non-clearance at Kohl's? I mean, if you buy something at Kohl's not on sale, you are not doing it right.
That is the flex. Like, I don't even have to use Kohl's cash.
Yeah. If you walk into Kohl's and you just buy something right off the rack, you don't even care.
Yeah.
People are like, whoa,
that guy's
who
loaded.
is that? They like lower their glasses and they look at you. Whoa, who's that guy? You walk out of that store, you just flip that collar.
Like I said, you're totally not cheap.
That's right.
Very thrifty.
That's right.
Have you, if this is the way you were raised and the way you've always been, have you adjusted where you are on that spectrum at all on the time versus money where you are willing to pay for things?
I have.
How do you make the judgment on, is this a worthy savings or not?
If you have to go, here's the problem. You get down to really, really deep stuff here. If you go to several stores to get their sale items, you can save a lot of money doing that, but then you use a lot of time doing that. And now you use like gas money doing that. So I don't even know if it makes economic sense. But at one point, I would have gone to like 3 different grocery stores to get all the sale items and then go home. Now I don't know that I do that because I got a family at home and they're probably waiting for me to come home with dinner or whatever. So you got to adjust mainly because of time.
I actually pay myself an hourly rate in my brain. Like I look at a job.
What are you worth?
I'm worth $25 an hour.
Okay.
So I look at a job.
What's Ryan worth?
Don't make me say that on air.
$25 an hour.
Same. But I look at like, especially like I came about this working on cars. It's like, is it worth it for me to try to fix this, or is it worth it to pay somebody else to do it? And I look at how long it would take me and how much I would have to pay. And that number for me is $25 an hour. You know, if it's going to take me more money to do it myself,
that's a good philosophy.
Then I pay somebody else to do it. Otherwise, I do it myself, more or less.
What age did you start shifting that, Ryan? Was it just directly related to your children?
Yeah, it kind of was. Yeah, because especially going from 0 to twins, your time becomes very valuable all of a sudden. So that was the biggest shift. I'm not going to say it hasn't. I mean, over time, it just shifts in general, but that was a big one right there. 2014.
Is your wife thrifty?
No.
Don't say it like that.
No. She hates me.
Ryan, she does not.
Dave Ramsey says there's in every marriage, in every relationship, there's a nerd and there's a free spirit. Ryan is the nerd.
Yep.
And your wife is the free spirit.
Yep. No doubt about it.
We were talking about this, I don't know, it was months ago. And I think your wife clarified, you guys got in an argument over something. You asked her if you could spend something and it was like $80. And she was like, just buy the $80 thing. Like, stop talking to me about it and go get what you need.
Yeah. I was like, I think I'm going to spend this. It was $100. And I was like, I think I'm going to spend the $100. And she's like, why are you asking me? And I'm like, well, because I expect you to ask me. And she's like, there's the problem. I'm like, oh man.
You manage the money in your house, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Brad?
My wife does the money stuff.
Your wife, I do the money in our house. But you just, I think it's kind of an interesting, along with the YouTube poll, this is why I'm kind of talking about this, because if you're somebody like Ryan who is thrifty for sport, some might say cheap, but those people.
I don't know who would say that.
Those people are.
Yeah, those people are awful.
Right.
Terrible people.
If you're somebody who is thrifty for sport, it'd be kind of hard to alter your habits. I mean, maybe it turns into I just choose not to buy things that I normally would buy and save on. I just don't buy those things. But I think that it's getting to the point where a lot of people who maybe did not have to live paycheck to paycheck, they're not necessarily at paycheck to paycheck mode, but they're looking ahead and going, I have to acknowledge that this is the reality that we're in right now and make changes. Brad, have you guys had to adjust at all your habits, or have you prepared? Because what I see a lot of people commenting on is the things that they're doing right now is more about prepping for future concerns than it is necessarily right now.
We haven't really had to adjust our habits too much because whenever this really started hitting the fan, I just got this job, and this job was a significant pay increase for me. So the thing about
we took it out of Ryan's paycheck.
Yeah. So what we didn't do is increase our standard.
We can abuse him, however, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just didn't increase our standard of living. So we didn't go look for a new car. We didn't go look for this, or we just started working on ways that we could pay off like reoccurring bills. And so we've paid off. My truck's paid off.
That's great.
Which is awesome. And we've paid down a lot on our house too. So that's kind of how we've done this.
Yeah.
More savings.
What about you, Ryan? Have you guys had to think about it, or have you been thinking about it?
Well, we've tried to do, I don't want to say side hustles, but we've actually been trying to expand business opportunities throughout, not just because of this, but in the last 5 years. So as that's changed our economic situation slightly, not a huge deal, but a little bit, it's just like keeping up with inflation, like Brad said, where we're making more because we're doing more to make more, but that's eating into the profit more too. And so you go, well, is this worth it? How much more do I have to do to get that much further ahead? So it's problematic. But to answer the poll, and I don't know are we doing that next segment? We're doing that now.
You can answer it now. We'll have Hannah come in and give us other people's comments.
This is kind of a weird, unique answer to that question on the poll, because like you said, I'm already pretty thrifty.
That's what I said.
That's the word. So it's hard to be more thrifty because you're already there.
Yeah.
Like I'm already living that life. So I can't really cut more fat because it's already cut. So that's the heart that it's fun. And when economic times are good, man, you're saving a lot of money. When they're bad, you can't change that much.
Yeah.
So that's part of the problem.
Yeah. And like I said, you've always been about that. Even when, Trump was in and the economy was roaring, you've always been thrifty for sport. I think it's interesting, like for something that you said too, Ryan, I think it was probably about fall of last year. People were talking about supply chain issues, about buying big things ahead of time. I mean, I think we're at the time. Like if you did pre-purchase some things because you were worried about supply chain issues, you might have benefited yourself doubly because you beat the supply crisis and the cost of these goods. I've had to buy a water heater since between supply chain and inflation issues. That was astronomical. Like that was 3 times what I expected it to be. It was very pricey. We're putting a deck on our house and lumber costs, like that was a whole ridiculous thing. I know people who are looking to buy cars. That's a whole ridiculous thing. So I think a lot of people, it's not necessarily that you might be in a whole heap of trouble. There are people who are experiencing that as well. Like, how do I afford to fill my gas tank to go to a job that's not really paying me what I need to support the gas tank? People are asking themselves a lot of questions, and I'd love to get your responses to this as well. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and in the live chat, you can see the poll. It says, have you altered your spending due to the rise in inflation? Yes or no. If you want to leave us a comment, Hannah is setting those comments aside, and she's going to come in here in just a minute and give us your reaction to this poll. Stick around. We'll have more Annie Frey Show here in just a minute.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Jeff Smith, Trump could get in and specifically endorse, right?
Trump could endorse Eric Greitens. Trump could endorse Eric Schmidt. And there's a teensy-tiny chance that Trump would endorse Billy Long.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Dr. Jody at Henshin Johnson Orthodontics wants to invite you to check out her orthodontic services in Waterloo, Illinois, and Columbia, Illinois. Easy to get to from both sides of the river and worth the drive from wherever you're coming from, because she has a completely digital practice. Dr. Jody offers 3D imaging scanners and printers, no more goopy impressions when it comes to getting yourself the straightened smile that you've always dreamt of. And please don't think that this is just for the kiddos, although my kiddos do go see Dr. Jody at Henshin Johnson Orthodontics. If you have always wanted a straightened smile and you're not sure how long is the process going to take or how discreet can I go through the straightening of my teeth, man, Dr. Jody is on your side, and she has solutions for you. You just need to give her a call and set up that appointment with the best staff around. 618-400-0900. That's the number to call to set up an appointment to find out about how orthodontic care can help straighten your smile and also potentially help with other health issues you may be experiencing. 618-400-0900. Reach out to them. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you do. Visit them online right now at HensherJohnsonOrtho.com.
We thought it was over.
Missouri Republican Governor Eric Greitens has just resigned this afternoon.
Scandal after scandal.
Already facing a felony charge, now accused of a second felony.
Now there's more about Eric Greitens.
Former Missouri governor is now accused of spousal abuse and intimidation.
In a sworn affidavit, Eric Greitens' former wife said,
I became afraid for my safety and that of our children due to Eric's unstable and coercive behavior. Physical violence toward our children, cuffing our then 3-year-old son across the face, yanking him around by his hair, a swollen face, bleeding gums, and a loose tooth. He said Dad had hit him. I wanted to protect our children because I was afraid of what Eric would do.
Scandals, felony charges, now physical abuse allegations. That's not conservative, but it's the real Eric Greitens. Paid for by Show Me Values PAC, showmevalues.org, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Show Me Values PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, The Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get your HVAC system ready for summer with a cooling system check included with all maintenance plans from Air Comfort Service. Maintenance plans start at $15 per month. To get into your comfort zone, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Information to keep you moving. Dependable traffic, mornings and afternoons with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
I know you want to say it. This is the rhythm of the night.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
So before we get to the poll results with Hannah, hi Hannah.
Hello.
News just in. Breaking news. So we've heard the story because the president made it an even bigger story than it was before of this 10-year-old girl who was raped in Ohio and had to go to Indiana to get her abortion, right? Everybody heard that
We've
story?
all heard
Yep.
it.
And then the question was, is this even a legitimate story? Because nobody could find any information out about it. Well, we found out that it is, in fact, a real story. That was discovered yesterday evening, that it is a real story. But the question is, if a 10-year-old comes into a medical facility and has been raped, there's a mandatory reporter responsibility for the people who are involved in this to identify a child who has been endangered. So why is it that none of that had happened yet? Well, Fox News is reporting that the man charged with the rape of a 10-year-old girl in Ohio is a Guatemalan illegal immigrant.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
An Immigration and Customs Enforcement source told Fox News Digital. The Columbus Dispatch first reported that Gerson Fuentes was arrested after police said he confessed to raping a child on multiple occasions. He has been charged with rape, and the outlet reported that he was possibly in the country illegally. The source told Fox that ICE has placed a detainer on Fuentes, which is a request he eventually be handed over to the agency for removal proceedings. The story of the alleged rape was initially published in the Indianapolis Star in the context of the victim reportedly having to cross state lines to Indiana to get an abortion due to the state's laws. You guys, here's the thing about this story that's pissed me off from the very beginning. Pardon my language. The story of a 10-year-old being raped and having to cross state lines to get an abortion was always about access to abortion. It was never about a 10-year-old who was raped. And the crime that everybody wanted to be so outraged about was that she had to cross a state line to get an abortion, which wasn't even true in the outset because the Ohio law has a provision for medically necessity abortions, and this would be considered that. Ask the attorney general there. But nobody ever said, where is the freaking rapist of this young child? That is the crime that was committed here, and nobody wanted to talk about it. Why? Because it was politically expedient all the way up to the president of the United States. He was disgusted in the remarks that he gave, and it was because the child had to transport herself to get her abortion. What the hell is wrong with us?
That's what it looks like to be compassionate now, is you're saying, oh man, well, she had to travel to get an abortion. This is me being compassionate because it's politically expedient.
What kind of world do we live in when you have to
gross.
cross state lines for a 10-year-old to get an abortion when she was raped? What kind of world do we live in when 10-year-olds are being raped and we're not even using that as the highlight of the headline of the story?
That's
unbelievable.
That is very interesting that Fox is reporting that, because Daily Wire just yesterday reported that story wasn't true.
No, it's not. It is true.
So it is true.
Joe is saying this rape story was false. It is not false. They did not go through the proper channels of reporting the information, which means that this story to this doctor was more important as a way to further abortion access in this country than it was to protect a 10-year-old girl from being raped, according to the story, multiple times by somebody who shouldn't even be in the country to begin with. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah, was it the Attorney General of Ohio that you were referencing there? I think they had asked him. I don't know.
He
if
had
Daily
no
Wire,
record of it.
and he could not find a record of it in the state.
The Indianapolis Star reported this story in the first place as an avenue that was important to the people who read that publication because of the repeal of Roe v. Wade. They didn't even ask, where is the person who raped this child? Well, they found him. And he should be going back to Guatemala, I suppose. I hope we take care of him before he does.
Gosh, I can't believe. Now the question is, and I think I would like an honest answer to this question. Does the Biden administration continue to talk about this issue?
Yeah, we'll wait and see because I'm watching. Anyway, let's get to the poll results because that came in right before we got back to the segment, and I could not let that go before we were out. All right, Hannah, take it over.
All right, the poll question today is: have you altered your spending due to the rise of inflation? Yes or no? 79% of the people said yes, they have altered their spending due to inflation, and 21% of the people said they have not. We've gotten a ton of comments coming in. LD from YouTube says, mostly inflation is affecting my spending decisions regarding things I'm choosing not to spend money on at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Straight Face gave us 2 comments from YouTube. He says he was discussing their monthly budgets. He said it used to be $700 a month, but the last 4 months they have increased it to $950 and it's still not enough. And he also said that they do not go out to dinner and they cook from home now. Vacations are now staycations. This situation is impossible. It's hard to imagine how people on a fixed income are surviving.
You know, the biggest effect that it's had on the Frey home is we try to eat food at home as much as possible. Even if it's like, I don't really want to eat any of this or the kids don't. It's like, sorry, we're doing that.
The grocery budget, right? If you have kids, everybody knows that's gone up by like at least $100, if not more, over the last year, right? Per month.
Jacob Smith from YouTube commented, I spend more on getting things now before they cost more later. Let's see here. Amy from YouTube says, I just noticed that my biweekly paycheck is not going as far and all I do is pay for bills and groceries. G-Wib said that he just got his first power bill for over $300.
That's going to hurt.
Amy said something that I think a lot of us can relate to, definitely cooking at home and bringing my lunch more now.
Did you know that Illinois just suspended the grocery tax for a year?
It's so crazy to listen to these Democrats get rid of all of their taxes
All
that
of
have
these-
made
their taxes.
and then they want credit for it. And you know, the second that things get better, they're going to want to slap them all back on.
Yeah.
Change the government now. You've got November to make sure that you get your life back before the Democrats try to do
I saw that little sign at the checkout yesterday. I'm like, oh, hey, that's great. Maybe it'll save me a couple bucks. And I spent $30. I couldn't even tell that it wasn't there.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, great. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Eddie from YouTube says, inflation hasn't forced me to learn new skills. I just fixed my garage fridge. I had no idea what I was doing until I started working on it. Vicky from YouTube says, I'm still buying double of things, mostly non-perishables. With the prices increasing, it's the only way I'll feel I'll have what I need when it gets to the point that I can't afford it.
Yeah, somebody said, well, that's a big 1% back in your pocketbook. 9.1% over last year.
Yeah.
You're not going to notice that. I mean, I guess it's something.
Realistic wages they're reporting are down 3.6%. So you took a pay cut of 3.6% because inflation is that high.
Yep.
And if you got, you look at President Biden and the Biden administration, and they're trying to tell you, gas is down 30 cents from its peak high. It's still over $4 I know in Missouri, some people were saying it's under $4 there, but
that's still terrible.
I'm not looking forward to anything other than $2.50 gas, and even $2.50. Like, I remember being at the pump during the Trump administration, and even during the very beginning of the Biden administration, and being like, I can remember back in the mid 2000s when I was putting $4 plus gasoline in the car and wondering how I was going to pay for it, and I'd fill up my Pacifica. I mean, it's a minivan. For $37, $38. Like, I remember filling it up for less than $40 and thinking, this is great. This is great. And now I get cut off at $75 a fill up. It's unbelievable.
$100 for Brad. $100.
Yeah. That didn't even fit.
It doesn't fill
that
it.
gave you like a half a tank.
That's where my credit card stops.
Gosh, it's so ridiculous. Well, thank you for voting in the live chat poll. We appreciate it each and every day. And we look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. Rewind on the Odyssey after 12:25 to hear Darren Bailey, who's going to be the next governor of the state of Illinois. I sure hope. And check out the podcast there as well. The Mark Reardon Show coming up next.
Finding great candidates